Morning, team. Good morning, everyone. How are we doing? Hopefully you had a great afternoon session. Hopefully some of you held that short through the afternoon, and maybe even some of you recognized those trap traders at the lows and took that squeeze back up for the end of day cover rally. Where did that squeeze happen? Well, surprise, surprise. Here it is, the lower Bollinger Band. How many times did we go over that? All right, no acceptance above, none below. Still boxed in, nothing's changed. There is the possibility today of a continuation, all right, because we've had a failed breakout, right? Failed to break out, failed to hold games, pulled all the way down, pumped back up, have left these traders trapped after that gap fill. It's possible we see a continuation. What's the big problem? Well, we probably need to build out some liquidity down here so that we've got some shorts to get into and we've got some buyers to use for the stop run, and we need this Bollinger Band to start opening up. But maybe we have a day where we come a little bit outside. So we're watching these yesterday's lows and the ones from the week before, one or two 25s and into sort of 200s. All right, we're watching that. If we start to see an acceptance below that, it is not the ideal location for the short. As we know, the ideal location for the short was up here, or even on a pop-up here today to fade back down. So we want to be very, very careful shorting the lows of a rotation, don't we? So we're going to need to see buyers stuck. The easiest way will be a push that fails or a dunk underneath that fails to reclaim. That's a riskier trade given what we've got with the Bollinger Bands, but we will have to be aware of it in case it plays out. If we are going to just dip and hold again, which would be just like here and here and here and here, all right, it would be a range rotation back to the 20-day. So those are the possibilities this morning. We're either going to see that continuation or the rotation back up. I guess the other possibility, which we should talk about, is just an inside bar, all right, which just builds liquidity down here and we don't do much. It's also possible. We have news 9:45, 10 o'clock, and we have MAG earnings tonight. So things to be aware of, folks. All right, let's have a look at the hourly chart. Find some clues from here. I'm going to move this up so it's a bit bigger for you guys to see. This is the developing week profile. Anyone that's new to stream, this right here is developing week. This is the previous week. So the easiest location to be short would actually be a drive up into here, all right, sort of just in front of 600s, a little stop hunt above there, and a failure. That would be a great location to short. That would be a two-leg that we could short into, looking to retest these lows. It doesn't look like we're going to get it. It looks at the moment like they've done it overnight. There's your first leg into the close. There's the second leg. There's the failure to make a new high. And maybe versus sort of 420s, they're going to rotate this down. I don't know. So ideally, we get a morning drive, which we can sell into. I'm not convinced we're going to get it, but that would be the most ideal circumstance, right? If we don't do that, what are the other levels I'm looking at? Why is... Someone's been on my keyboard. There is chocolate on my keyboard. Right. If we don't do that, then what I'll be looking for is this developing point of control, previous day value area low. So somewhere into here, 377s up to sort of 420-ish. This area here, which is currently blue, can we turn this? Well, I'm going to put it grey for now, but could we turn it into a red block and then sell down from that? So sort of 380s into 420s, all right, that kind of level here. Could we push up, fail, and sell that back down? We will be covering some into previous low swing points, all right? We're going to respect those low swing points, aren't we? Let's put this back to gray, right? If we miss that opportunity, all right, we're going to have to be careful about this. If we miss this opportunity, if this doesn't set up and this doesn't set up, we want to be very careful getting short down here, all right? Lots of guys that have ripped us up from here before. So if you're going to be short down here, you're really going to need it to fail under everything and back test and stay heavy. You do not want to just join in trying to chase that momentum, because momentum might be good, but the location here will be terrible. Remember, the lower Bollinger Band on the daily is down here. Let's talk about the other way, right? If we're going to come down here, maybe we sweep, maybe we don't, and we hold and we go back into rotation, then we'll be looking like this yesterday for those dips with sellers caught at the lows. For that move back up, again, we would have to sell some into these key levels. So the same level we're looking to fade, we'd have to take a partial on, and then hopefully we could get into 500s and maybe even 600s. I will tell you now, where will this get squeezy? A base above this, all right, 600 to 650. If they base in here and they start breaking 650, you can see how thin we are all the way back up to 800. So a base of 600 to 650, a break of 650, and then I would expect a move to 800. That would be the squeeze move. All right. So whether that happens or not, we don't know, because we know we were very thin down, very thin up, very thin down. All right. So maybe they want to reprice this back up and then refade it. We don't know, folks. Who knows what these lot are doing? We're in a massive rotation. We've got to be careful. Edge, or it's slightly more to the downside given the momentum yesterday, but we've just got to be aware that every single time we come into here, all right, we can't find acceptance lower. All right, look at all this. Remember, these are weekly profiles. Every single time we come down here, we can't find acceptance. But like I've talked about, if we start to find acceptance, if they are going to deem that all of this volume is way too high in price and they want to go risk off, then we're going to have months and months and months worth of volume trapped above, and that would be a nice trade if that happens. All right, move this down. We can have a quick look at what happened overnight. Make sure you can see enough. Not too much really. Globex basically went sideways. All right, so Asia definitely went sideways. There's the pump after the trap. All right, into the low. There's the pump after the trap. Asia popped up into Mr. 200, failed the 200 on London, back for a retest, failed it again. We're just watching this previous day low down here. I'd be watching this move into 180s because we didn't, or it's from Monday. So the Monday, Sunday open. We didn't clear that out yesterday. So far it's protected. So we're watching that. Okay, let's have a go up here and we will get into ES and some of the ETFs. You're going to be looking at very, very similar stuff right now across the broader market. All right, big fail here. We got very, very close to take out the highs like we talked about. All right, they came right up into these highs and they stuffed it. And you can see right now we're right at that point of control. All right, so not much doing here. Relative strength, I would say, on ES right now. We're right, and if we think about this sort of range here, we're right in the middle, aren't we? All right, we did see rotation yesterday. If you had a look at the sectors, you saw rotation yesterday back into healthcare, back into defensive kind of names, back into finance names, all right, out of tech into those. So that's why the ES is holding up better, all right? A broader market, remember 500 stocks in here that we're looking at, only 100 in NQ and very tech heavy in NQ. So far holding up okay on ES, all right, relative strength there. But again, we can see we keep getting stuck. We cannot get above that 7,000 and base, all right? That's the big problem right now. So very similar thing. Are we going to flush down and clean all of this out? Right, this is our first big sell. That's your bounce. We expect a retest of down here. So that's probably what we're going to be looking for this morning. We can have a look at the ETFs to make it a little bit simpler. There you go, SPY ETF. If we go from that high to low, it's probably done a 50% retracement already. They're almost to 61. So looking good here. It's into its gap. So if we start losing the gap, then we're going to look for this attack down here. And you must be paying yourself into this, because if they set a higher low there and want to come up for a second leg, they can before they resell it. Okay, so we're protective if we get that move there. If we get this morning drive, then as long as these buyers up here stay stuck, we will be selling into it. Same thing on the Qs, right? Exactly the same. You can see the relative weakness, nowhere near a 50% push. All right, if we think about this from high to low, nowhere near up here like the ES, right? So that's the broadening market into the ES where we're seeing weakness in tech. So Qs looking for this. If we get very lucky, they'll pop up somewhere into here and we can fade that back down. At the moment, it looks very heavy. Dixie continues to try and find a bid. All right, it's starting to try and find a bid. If we do this here, you can see this old beauty that we look for. All right, a bit of a quasi there. All right, can it get back into here is the question on the Dixie. I don't know. We can talk about gold. We're doing that move. We're doing that move. All right, there's the high. There's the flush. Do we get failure to follow through? This is the key question now on gold and silver. Do the metals fail to follow through and get a resell, or do they reclaim base and go for new highs? These are all the opportunities. Same on silver. We talked about this for the last few days. All right, there's the drive down. Buyers are stuck above here. We can do this to this. We're looking for something into here. Even if you wanted to measure out some volume from before all of this, or you could use the same kind of thing. It's very rough, but to give you an idea, all right, we're looking, you're into this thin level. So anywhere short from 91 up to 99 is possible on silver for a swing position. If it starts reclaiming, night, don't touch it. VIX, All right, we can see still sort of in this messy channel, that's still producing higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, and it's trying a base to get out of this. So we're watching VIX today. I can give you some slightly more accurate levels here if we zoom in. All right, watching VIX here. If it starts breaking 1826s, right, then we're going to look for a retest towards these 19s. Obviously, a breakout over that is problematic. You can see this channel. I know it's rough, but every time we come outside of this channel, we're not then reholding. All right, we're not reholding. So if we break this on VIX, maybe we get going. And we will see. If we start dropping under here on VIX and rotating, then the market probably finds a bid today for that rotation up. I would be very aware today about a big divergence kind of day if we see that. I wonder if they sell tech regardless. Let's have a quick look at the MAG. We are running out of time. I'm going to have to be very, very quick here. All right, Apple had some positive data come out this morning. Still looks good, holding its gains after earnings, driving out really, really well. Amazon, weaker here. MAG coming this week. Remember, earnings on the way right here. Still in a range, still no full breakdown. Goog, earnings as well. Is this tonight? Yes, after the bell tonight for Goog. So we're watching that. So this might get wonky. Here's your current range while they decide what they do with it. Options expiry is going to be key on that. Meta continues to slide. All right, back down into this area. So repricing that whole earnings. Remember, this is a breakout, retest. Do they rebuy that back up? That's the big question right now. I'm still long in that, just small position. Microsoft, that looks terrible. That looks terrible. That's going to start perking my interest soon, though, as we come into this kind of area here. All right, they're going risk off on tech. If we start sliding under here, I will start bidding back up. I will consider some here, but if we slide under long term, I will start bidding some back up, because that is an over-exaggerated move at this point. I know everyone's saying it's doomsday, it's the end of AI, it's the end of tech, but that's 26% down already without a pullback. So we will see. If we slide too much more, I'll start getting interested. Nvidia still in this range at the highs. All right, just going sideways. We've got a peak high, possible blow off top on that peak formation high. But we are sideways ever since. It is gapping down today. Is that right? Let me see. No, we're flat. Flat on Nvidia. Tesla, I mean, that looks like one of the worst traders I've seen, unless you're a range trader. I mean, it continues to just do this, right, until it loses some of this. Those 420s have been key for, well, it must be the best part of a year now. So that's it, folks. That is it for this morning. We have about 4 minutes left. We can have a look at some broad names. Netflix started to undercut yesterday. Remember, this is perking my interest. I've got a small piece on this, long, by the way, just a feeler to keep me interested. I'm watching really for it to come down into here, somewhere into here, ideally. This high here, and even if it really wants to drift and be ridiculous, then I'll scoop some up. This is, we're talking about a 3 to 5 year swing here, right, guys? I'm not talking about a trade. I'm talking about a big swing position. So if we come down into this or even this, it will perk my interest. And I did start long in these, as we talked about yesterday. Looking for that breakout and hold over 20s, which it did. And USAR is also same kind of thing, hold over 20s, looking for that continuation breakout. So I've got small starters on there. If we start to build this sort of right shoulder in here now, hello, all right, I will start to build a position if we start to hold this right shoulder. And this is a macro type news based on Trump's positioning into rare earth, okay? Into rare earth. Okay, let's get us back on track here. Uh-oh, is Ninja Trader down again? Please tell me not. Is that what you guys are all saying? Let me have a look. Are we trading at 82s? Mine's okay. Mine's okay. Mine is okay. Thank goodness. You guys scared me then. All right, let's end this poll. See what the results were of the poll. Most of you thinking range rotation. Some of you thinking continuation short. None of you are thinking pump. Lots of you saying trade of 8 is down. Okay, we want to be careful here then. We want to be careful here. Sounds like there's some issues with trade of 8 and Ninja. Let's be careful then, folks. Let's be careful. Yeah, mine's all right. Do me a favor, smash that like button nice and early for me, then I don't have to say it any longer on stream. And let's have a good day here. Let's have a good day. Let's see if we can we're going to retest this sort of 420s. And if they fade that, if they don't fade that, then we're expecting that move back up towards 500s, and we can have a look at that in there. We want to be very careful getting short at the lows in a range, remember. Very, 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 very careful. So I want to see if there is a pop that fails this morning, which would be the most ideal kind of situation. Okay, come on, guys. Almost 1,000 of you in here this morning. Let's smash that like button. Let's get it moving. I want to do some giveaways on stream. We will do another funded next giveaway this month now as well. So I've got to, maybe we'll come up with that question together on stream. What are we doing here? Here's the open, folks. All right, so it's selling off on that morning drive. Where's this 500 lot? I just see him flash. Even Bookmap feels a bit slow here. I see me having some troubles here, is it? Here's the 500 lot at 300. They've just gone straight into him at 300. And bouncing off that for now. Is there going to be continuation under it? Not yet. Not yet. The drive underneath that 300 now. And even Bookmap's very laggy for me here, folks. In this short for the snap underneath. See if we can come down to previous day low. Lovely. Nice start to the day. Fantastic. This is what we want to see. So grey box rejecting. I was watching the 300 in short once we let go of 300. Looking for this down here. Protecting my money now no matter what. Value area is down here. Watching some of these nodes here into 85s. This is what we want. 219s. So nice early trade to start the day. Rejecting the grey box. Rejecting value. Here we go. How much lower can we go? Protecting some of this already now. Can start to see some bids trying to show up here. So I'm going to watch that same area where I got in for that 300 break on a retest. I do not want that to be reclaimed. Already paying myself nicely. That is a great start to the day. Beautiful. 50-pointer plus. Can we get down to previous day's low? Once that big buyer got washed, it became easier. They are bidding down towards 225s to 200, so we should get it here, folks. Here we go. Here we go. We're going to have a 100-pointer to start the day. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come to Papa. Come to Papa to start the day. Not going to be one and done here. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Move this stop. They're going to front run this a little bit. Watching ES into Globex, same level. Come on. You gotta love it when they're kind to us in the market. Let's go. Still looking for previous day low, and under that we have more liquidity as well. So we just previous day low, and then this green line down here. These are the two final cover points. But I'm going to make sure I'm paid myself no matter what. They are adding liquidity down here. I do think we have another attempt down. They might just want to drift up towards 300 first before they come back down there. So 280 to 300 will be a key level. Here they come. So just a small size left on this to see if we can get down. Watching this 300 test now. If they rip back through this, I'll be out because they can force a squeeze right back to 350. But this is the 300 level. Watching this very careful whether I take this off or not on the runner. Still holding pretty firm here so far. Very thin above this, remember. That's a nice rejection. Can we get a continuation now? Can we get down? There we go. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Beautiful 300 rejection. Here we go. Come on, baby. Come to Papa. Come to Papa. Can I sing to it? What do I have to do to make this come down? Come to Papa. Here we come to Papa. Really nice 300 rejection there. You can see the exact level I gave you. Just want to see if this will wash. Tradeify's down, you guys are saying. Well, I'm not having problems, guys. I don't know what to tell you. I'm trading on NinjaTrader via Tradeify, and it's working for me. back to 300 then. Oh, if they reclaim this, I will cut the runners, which would be a shame. I tell you what, there must be a little lag because I am on a copy trader and these are not all together. These are all PAs. And you can see there's a little bit of lag between them. Back to 300. 300 is the level. Above 300, they can squeeze to probably 325 and even 350. But as long as we hold here, we look good. Remember, we are at the lower Bollinger Band, so we want to be careful. We've talked about this on the daily. This is a question right now as if we can expand. Can we do almost like a black swan type event here? Right, when we have a look at this right here, you can see we are defending right now value on the current developing week. We are looking to sweep this low and get into this low and cover into this. If we get under this, the lower Bollinger Band is like right here where we keep bouncing off. Under this, we have a shot all the way down to here, 25,000 basically. 25,000. No matter what, we are locking in money. You guys seem to be having some issues here. Web also down. If you're logged in when it went down, it still works. If you weren't, you can't log in. Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that, guys. That's got to be frustrating. All right, out here on the runners. Watching this now as we come back into 25s. Right, they can reject 25s to 50s. Otherwise, they can rip this back up. If this is going to be another failed, make sure I've got you on the right channel. If we fail to sweep these lows, remember we can rip this straight back up to this box, which is where I was first interested in the short, but I took the 300 break right around here. So reclaim here. We'll watch these same levels. I'll give you a little readout on the mag. Tesla 0.03% down, so basically flat. Nvidia 0.75% down. Microsoft 0.70% up. Meta 1.32% down. Google 0.77% up. Amazon 0.25% down. Apple 2% up. They cannot make up their mind here. All right, back to previous day value area low. So they've ripped this back up through the 300 on the squeeze. Back to previous day value area low, back to the current New York Open, back to the 24-hour VWAP. Right, big levels. You can see the rotation here is very, very aggressive today. It's very, very violent the way we're moving. VIX just rejected that pivot at 1830s that we talked about pre-market. Come back down to its PDC. So rotation definitely taking place right now. I am still... What is going on, Bookmap? Can you start following price instead of being a dick? Thank you. So still rejecting that New York Open. I would say over New York Open, there is potential for a squeeze up to 513s if we're going to play both sides. I'm still short biased technically, but you know, up here would be a very nice short location. If they want to come and run all these stops and come up here, this is where I'd love to get short. So flat now, just waiting. I'm not going to play this long on a return unless I really see it start to base and hold far too early. But ES holding up pretty well here this morning. Relative strength in the ES. If you look at the broader market, ES 0.08% up, NQ 0.5% down. So we have weakness in tech. Like I said, wouldn't surprise me if we have a very big divergent day today. $30 ATR. Yeah, I mean, it was actually higher than that. It was actually at an 87 on an M1 ATR. Huge amounts of orders at 620. Let me have a look. What you guys are saying. Zoom right out. I wouldn't say huge, but there are some orders up there, yeah. It's where we got thick, isn't it, before? I wouldn't say huge. We still can't get through that New York Open right now. We can't get through the New York Open right now. They will have to trigger through that to get any form of squeeze upside into this. And at the moment, they keep getting stuck up there. Absolutely getting stuck up there at the moment. ES is through it. VIX just found a bid on PDC. So my bias is technically still short until we get over all of this. I still think there's a chance to come and clean up the lows. If we get over all of it, there might be a squeeze up and there might be a short further up later on in the day. But we'll just see. Like I said, I've made my money. You've seen it on the screen. Waiting now to see what the next setup brings. I still think we can clean up all of this. There's a lot of stops down here now been left. Yeah, lots of you sound like you're having lots of issues. It sounds like CME issues, honestly. If you guys are having Tradeify issues and Rhythmic issues and Bookmap was slow, and I'm getting a few sort of spready orders, sounds like CME are having issues to me. Okay, can these guys make up their mind? Let's get some volume on here. I've traded for a few minutes. See, at the moment, we can't get over this New York Open and get up into this Globex session, and we have not cleaned up all these stops. So we're just in the rotation. We have protected yet again so far. If I take you over to the daily, yet again, we have protected this right here, haven't we? All right, so 3 lots of dips down here holding the edge of this value area from this high. All right, and the Bollinger Band. We keep protecting that. I'd say underneath 178, it gets very, very thin very, very quickly. All right, so it's a big level for them to keep trying to protect. We might need to build up liquidity for a session or two. It might be very possible we have to do that. Are we in a trend day? No, not yet. I think we could develop one. It could be a kind of black swan event kind of day, but we will see. We will see. And they might well build liquidity for a session or two, wait for the earnings, and then dunk it. I am watching this again around this 300 level. That's where point of control now is for me based on Delta. And they are starting to sell into this level again. If they don't rebid this, this market is likely to get heavy. So I'm watching this 300 again. We have some build up of liquidity down at 72s, 272s. So watching this, they're still bidding in and around here. It's where that big seller came in this morning. So it's a huge, huge level. If they start losing this, it's possible we go back towards that low of day there. I will respect 80s and 72s though. And we have a node here at sort of 37s to 40s. So 300 to 40s current rotation over that potential squeeze through the New York Open and VWAP. So here they go back to the 40s. Can they get through the 50s to New York Open? Yes. So they held 300 back to the 40s. Back towards trying to get to this grey box in the New York Open. This is a very thick level. I want to remind you, this is not just like a random grey box, all right? The developing profile with the point of control, we can see this is our contested level, okay? Shorts under here, all the time they're holding this, they're looking for this. If buyers get above this, they're looking for that rotation, and above here, I would imagine shorts will try and come back in. If buyers hold this, there's a gigantic squeeze, all right? So we have to be willing to play both sides. We have to be willing to play both sides based on what has been built out in front of us. It's not because I don't know what I'm doing. It's because this is what the market's setting up. I have to be willing to play both sides. Yeah, news at 9:45 and at 10, folks. 9:45 and at 10. We have PMI 9:45 and ISM 10 o'clock. All right, PMI 9:45, ISM 10 o'clock. Okay, let's see here. They're coming up for these 80s. Big lot up here at 80s. New York Open. Over that potential squeeze, gap fill will be to 453 if it wants to be an efficient market. I will not be playing the longs for this first drive up. I can tell you that now. No way. No way am I doing that today. And already locked in some great money this morning. Another global Tradeify issue. Guys, I'm so sorry. I mean, it's got to be so frustrating, hasn't it? It's got to be so frustrating. But, you know, maybe trade your cash accounts if you've got a cash account. Even if it's a ETF-based account, you could trade Qs. If you didn't have a futures-based account, you could trade Qs or SQQ or TQQ if you want to be triple leveraged in it. Or use another provider. You could always get a Rhythmic account set up or Motive Wave or something else. I don't think it's too often. I think I can remember twice in the last 2 or 3 years that we've had this. It's just that they've been close together. If it starts happening too regularly, though, it'll be a problem. All right, we just failed that New York Open again. All right. This thing is struggling to get through that. Struggling to get through that. And it's back into this shelf at these 40s again. So 40s to 80s is the rotation. If they lose 40s, we're coming back for 300. If we lose 300, we're probably going back for the lows and a big snap. So watching this level here is big. This is 300, you can see it. And this is kind of sentiment right now. So you can see this here and this node here being developed. So sort of 40s up to this higher 80s. They lose 40s, they're going to come 300. They lose that. We probably break down into this if they lose that. Big ifs, but if they did, that's what we would expect. Can't even connect your regular account to Ninja, and that seems odd. That seems odd. Mine are working, so I haven't got that problem. Let me just, sorry guys, people blowing up my phone. They never learn. It's like, this is the time I work. Yeah, they want to ring and call me and text me at this time. Right, here we go. Back to these 40s again. Back down. If we lose this, back down to the 300. So watching this now, if they start losing this and I see follow through, then I think there's a potential low of day move here. So we're watching point of control into 300 here. Here we go. Back towards this 300. And can we get follow through underneath this now? 40s to 300. Here's 300. I've got a small piece on in case we fail underneath this. Here we go. Under the 300. Want to see this stay heavy on a rejection, and then we can go low of day. Not staying heavy yet. So just 40s to 300 so far. Bookmap, please, please, Bookmap. You're being very annoying today. So want to see if we retest 30s and stay heavy and then snap 300s and go low of day. So can we retest 30s and stay heavy and then snap 300 and go low of day? If we reclaim 40s, then there's no trade downside here. News coming here as well. Another lot of news coming in, how long? 15 minutes now. Okay, it's still basing around this 300, this grey box. So the opportunities here will either be a straight fade underneath, or this is an opportunity, or I guess this to here and then refade that back down. Those are the opportunities. Here's the move back towards the 30s. We only got to 24s. Still think this has got liquidity lower to clean up. The ES holding up pretty well, still absorbing on its view up. Its flow zones are flat. It's on the New York Open. Still have relative weakness in the Qs. Give you another readout on the mag. Tesla basically flat. Nvidia almost 1% down. Microsoft basically flat. Meta almost 2% down. Google 1/3% up. Amazon 0.63% down. Apple having a strong day, 2.84% up. That thing's absolutely ripping back up towards highs, which is great for me because I'm still swing long. That might be because of what came out last night with Nancy Pelosi's recent investment. She is back long into Apple. So out of all the tech, obviously it doesn't have big AI, what would you call it? Exposure, let's call it. If you're stuck in it, guys, what I would say is relax. All right. If you're stuck in a trade on Tradeify, don't stress. They will get it fixed for you afterwards. If it's a global outage, it will not make a difference. If you're trading prop, you will be okay. All right, back down to these 300s. We still can't get through this 40 that we just talked about. This is still possible here. It's very, very whippy between 40 and 300. They cannot make their mind up here. So here to here is the liquidity. Through here, here. Stop hunt through this. Gap fill possible. I'm not going to trade the long. Like I said, if we lose this, I'll be interested. So big squeeze all the way back up based on absolutely nothing other than ES catching a bid and then rotating 300 to 40s back to the high of day. If they can't pop these stops, it's going to be pretty pathetic at this point. Oh, slam my desk. ES almost at Globex. Seriously, you got to go and run the stops out one side. You can't do nothing, market. You're going to do nothing for another day. You're not going to give us one more trade, just that opening trade, and that's it. Come on. Apple on an absolute tear here. 3% up now. It's great for me. How much am I now up on my swing position? Approaching 30% up on that swing. I've been long since, what is it? Get my core position up. Open Apple, please. Average position is 208 on Apple. We're currently trading 277s, which is great. All right, failed the height again. This thing is awful. Cannot make its mind up what it's doing here. Range much tighter today. It might be that we do an inside day and just wash around a little bit. Yeah, AMD down on earnings. It actually beat on earnings, but they're selling it off. This thing is stuck now. Stuck in this value, tight value now. 70 to 95, pretty tight here. Pretty tight here. Let's see what they do. I feel like they're going to wash it. They cannot break the highs, but it would be much better if they clean one side out. Back to the 300 again. So we are not breaking this New York Open and VWAP and getting above here. We're still in a small rotation here. Under 300 low of days possible. I've said it so many times. Under 300 low of days. Back to the point of control. Here we go. Back to these 300. So if they don't save this now, I would imagine low of day. Very, very possible. Here we go, folks. If they stay heavy, 300 to 317 is kind of the level where the sellers came in at. They stay heavy there, I would imagine low of day. If they don't stay heavy, obviously we go straight back to the 40s again. You can see we're very tight in this rotation. If we lose this grey box, I will assume that we're going to try and come down towards this. But 317s was a level where a big seller came in. So they will need it under that. A lift through that would be back to the 40s again. They cannot make up their mind. But I tell you what, ES tap Globex, it's still just hanging around on its VWAP and New York Open. Just everything's stuck right now. VIX looks like it's got that look, that sort of inverted head and shoulders look. And VIX will really get going on a break over 1845 probably. All right, looks like they're going to try and do this wash towards lower day. Watching this now. Here we come. Here's the 80s. This value area low on the day. Do they find acceptance down here in towards the 70s and then the lows? Watching this now in this short. Peeling some off in case we keep protecting these 80s and 70s. I want to see this just flush the lows now at this point. Come on. You're just getting stupid here, market. Come on. Here we come towards these 70s. Don't want them to protect this little node. Want to just wash through this. Please come and clean something out. Get out the rotation. Come on, market. Get out the rotation. Maybe they're waiting for 10 o'clock. Lots of buyers down at 25, so I think we should get down into there. They can just stop fucking around with it. Here come the 70s, so TP1 here. I'm peeling some off into this in case they hold, but I am expecting a new low of day. I'm watching previous day low, and then this here, 185s. Here we go. Like we talked, it's great rejection of grey box. We can move lower. They're still protecting 70s. We just want this to snap now. ES starting to really let go. Come on, we should accelerate at this point. Come on, stop fucking around. You're done with it. Let's have it. Let's fucking go. Down, 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 down. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Accelerate. 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 Pay the daddy. Here we come. Here we come. 2 attempts, same trade. Here we come. So a little bit left here. I'm watching for all the way down into these 2 green ones for, get out my way. Right, I'm looking for cover points into this and this and this. Let's go. Let's go. They are stacking 37s down to 20s right now. I think we will get it. There's a buyer keeps stepping in here. There's a shelf being built at 50. I think we will get lower here. Come on. Stop saving it, you fucking idiots. Get out my way and give me the fill. ES down to low of day. In fact, ES just whipped low of day. Come on, NQ. Don't do me like that. Massive divergence. ES just wicked low of day. I'm glad I got a partial. Fuck me. Making my life hard. Right, watching this for rejection of 300. Got to stay heavy versus 300 here. Worst case scenario, 320, but really we want to stay heavy versus grey box. These are still the cover points. Still holding this. Got one left on. Let this work now. Let this work now. Back to the 300. Ugh. ES has done me dirty there. So divergence there with ES. I still think we're going to get the move, but ES has done me dirty there. Big fail, washed the low of day and found a bid. That is dirty. That NQ will not do it with it when we've got relative weakness. You bunch of clowns. Absolute bunch of clowns. Get out my fucking way and drop this, please. Oof. So back to the 300s. 320 is where that big seller came in. 320 there will probably squeeze to 40s, but all the time we're holding that, it's not too bad. Come on, you idiots. Absolute idiots. VIX can't get that breakout through the 45s that we talked about. It just came right up to 40. Very, very volatile. We're still protecting 300 and 320. I'm still in this. All the time we're protecting 300 and 320s. I'm happy to sit in it. This is a pullback. We're going to reject New York view up and grey box. Hopefully we can get some follow through now. Hopefully this is enough liquidity to get us down into here now. I will not hold above this though. 320s is the level. I can show you him if we get this up. All right, this is the guy that I'm playing against. This seller here, I'm using him. He's the big whale dragging us. Come on. Come on, this is the opportunity now. I want to see this breakdown now. We've got lots of stops down here. This time we should absolutely snap it. These buyers can't keep trying to save it. Little shelf here at 50 or 48s. Through that we should go. Looking good, looking good, looking good, looking good. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Please. Pretty please. Pretty please. Just snap it, for God's sake. Getting stuck on Bookmap. Come on. They're all here. They're all stacked down to 225s and 200s. We should get it. Here, they're coming for it now. Come on, come on, come on. Someone just sell through. Stop fucking around. I'm trying to hold for the breakdown here. Here we go. Here we go. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Give me that green line. Don't you dare. Don't you fucking dare protect it. Come on. Come on. Give it. Give it to me. I'm not going to be a dick for a tick here. Come on. I had to pay myself a little bit. Almost there, folks. It's going to come. So we're watching this green line for a cover and this green line for a cover and then runners underneath. And this will be 100 point, another over 100 pointer. All right. So 340 rejected. 320 stayed heavy. Rejection of here. Here's your trade. TP1, TP2, TP3. They starting to get a few sellers getting a little bit caught down here underneath 27s. Want to be careful. Want to be careful on the runners here. Don't want to give it all the way back again. It's been a really good move. Don't want to give 70 points back. Big seller coming in on the tape here. 300 lot just above us. I want to see him walk down. I don't want him to sit there at 45. I actually want it. Get out of my way. Get out of my way. Get out of my way. Thank you very much. Nothing but nets on Flowzone Trader. All right, let's see. How far can we go? How far can we go? Let's see, folks. This guy on YouTube doesn't know what he's doing, does he? He's an absolute plonker. All right, here we go. One into here. One into here next TP. We're almost there, folks. You are almost there. We're looking for this 84s, and then after that down here. Absolute beauty. You're over 100 points again. Oh, can you dig it? Let's go. On a fucking heater here, baby. On a heater here, baby. Here's your green line. TP into this. Don't be a dick for a tick. It is literally a tick. and this is your next TP, and then this grey box. All right, we're starting to get follow through now, but we're going to be careful into here, right? We're going to be careful. This is the protected low. If we snap that, I will tell you, if we snap that, we are then looking for a trade into 131s and 2520s, and we can have a look on the daily here, because I will show you. We've gone over this numerous times. Look at the shelf. We are taking these wicks out. We get very thin under here. All right, they will want to protect this. If they cannot protect this, look at this. This is since the all-time high. All right, this profile here is based since the all-time high. We're starting to see follow through outside of the Bollinger. I will respect this is for the current year. So we've got a gap here, 188 down to 25 100-ish, 95s, and then under that we're going to start getting fucking weak, baby. Let's go. Get out my way. Come on. Come on. Come on. I'd love to see who gave you this outside of here. Grey box coming up, and then after that it's just if we get lucky. It's really like if we get lucky, we get all the way down into this. But this is our main trade for the day. Low-hanging fruit's gone. Job done, guys. Nothing but net. Yeah, job done, guys. What a beauty. What an absolute beauty. So, protective now. We don't want this to reclaim here. You can move your stop down. If you want to try and hold this all day, you can move your stop down and try and protect sort of 250s. But this is your low-hanging fruit trade. It's happened. We never reclaimed. Okay, so here was the thesis today. If we reject this grey box, we're looking short. We rejected it at open, first trade on the open. I didn't take that first rejection. I took the 300 break once I saw that buy get caught. So the first trade today was the 300 break right here. So I was just using order flow for that. Where is my short position? Right, was right here. You're not going to do it for me, really. There we go. First one was right here into, we were trying to get to the low of day. All right, we're trying to get to that. We only got to like here. That was trade one. Trade two, into grey box. So final targets hit. Now you're just a runner, folks. And you can try and hold this now. The next level of liquidity I'll be watching at is basically 25,009. So you're looking for 25,000 now. Down here on your runner. All right, if you've got anything left, that is what you're looking for. And I want to see some likes. How many likes have we got in chat today? 400 likes, 1,200 of you watching. I've just gifted you. So far, you're in 166 point short, and you might well get a 300 plus point short today. So if you can just do me at least the courtesy of hitting the like button. Like I told you, I was not going to be looking for longs today. I knew we were at the lower Bollinger Band, but I said, I think we might get that black swan type of event. We're going to get divergence to the ES because we had a broadening of the market yesterday. And that's what we've had. ES only 0.44% down, NQ 1.30% down. Why? Because tech is weak. Yesterday, I told you we rotated back into defensive names, which is why ES is holding up. But if we look at the sectors in the market, you've got to understand the difference between them two. It's not some made up algo stuff. It's about actual rotation, all right? So this is why, all right, look at what is staying heavily. Palantir, Oracle, MU, AMD, AVGO, NVDA, Amazon, Meta, all of these, all the tech, and look what's looking okay. Finances, healthcare, energy, all right? Industrials, that's more RTY, to be honest. So the rotation has been in full effect, and that's why we're seeing the weakness. Look at the little bid on the grey box, all right? Be done with this now. You are done. Be done with it, my friends. Be done with it. Be happy with this. They might well lift this back up for a retest up here for where we've got volume, all right? But the damage has been done. We've made our money. If you were going to do a reshort today, all right, then you would need this pop up here versus this, and certainly this, one of these to fail. But remember, your low-hanging fruits have gone. We love those low-hanging fruits. Yeah, dubs in chat for me. Dubs in chat for me. Thank you, Taylor. That's very kind of you. I'll get myself a nice Starbucks after this with that. Thank you very much. What do I mean by the broadening of the market? Okay, so if we think about, let's get you to, I'm going to take you over to a daily. All right. If we think about this run, all right, if we think about this run and this run, all right, in the Qs, right, what caused this run in the Qs in the ES, right, the MAG, right, the MAG 7. If you look in this run here, right, the amount of stocks over their 50-day moving average was very small for a very long period of time. Why? All right, in the Qs, 60% of the Qs is made up by the MAG 7. All right, so if we have a really strong MAG 7, which is what we've had, all right, if we think about what we've had, let's look at like during this time. If we look at NVIDIA, the growth of NVIDIA, right, from December, we just said from 22s, 20, like we've moved from the equivalent of $11 to $200. I know it's done a split, but percentage games, it's the same. We're up 2,000%, right? 2,000%. All right. So in that time, are we having other sectors move up 2,000%? Remember, this is the #1 stock in the world, right? No. If we look at some of the other things like AVGO, same kind of thing. Look at this run from 2023, right? 2023, we have moved from the equivalent of what? $59 all the way up to $400. All right. Again, 579%. If we look at Meta from 2023, we've moved from $88 all the way up to $800, right? 800% gains, right? So if we think about that, the MAG doing these huge gains, they are dragging the markets up. But the other sectors, all right, the other names, the finances, if we look like the best performing financial stock is JP Morgan, right? And in that equivalent time, is it up anywhere near as much? And this is the best performing stock. No, it's not up. We're not talking about 1,000%, are we? Not talking about 1,000%, all right? 140%, all right? And that's a good performing stock. That's a good performing stock. It's the best stock in the financial sector. So what we're seeing is profits being taken out of tech and rotated into the other sectors, some of the defensive names. Look at the metals, right? Look at the metals. Look at all these things like that are starting to gain a bid, right? Look at what I've started looking at this week, like uranium, energy, all right? Where have we gone, right? We're starting to find bid. You're starting to see flow come out of NQ or the MAG and into some of these broadening names, which is why we're starting to get some of this. I need to move this down for you guys, don't I? There we go. Which is why we're starting to get some of this, right? So it's the broadening of the market. It's financial institutions moving into some other names. Same as we've seen, right? Why is the Russell caught a bid, right? It's the catch-up trade, right? The Russell is not the tech sector. It's all the other sectors. Look at what we've been doing, right, since 2021. Bugger all, really, right? But we found a bid as we've started to rotate in. Compare this exact chart here from 2021, right, till today. If we compare that exact chart to the NQ, to the NQ, bring this up a bit. 2021 to today, remember the Russell looked boxed in. The NQ, this is what the NQ's done during that time. Huge, right? We've moved from 10,000 to 26,000, right? Very different market. So that broadening has started to become evident, and you can really see it in the ES. It's the easiest place to see it, right? So we're finding bid off that grey box, like we talked about. Big node there on that grey box. And we've drifted right the way up to the previous day low. We have a low volume node here. Now, shorts will need to protect this. All right. If shorts fail to protect this, this will be a sweep of these levels here, which is why it was low hanging fruit. And this is possible. And this will be back into a range for the day. And Alex will not be trading in here. All right. Alex will not be trading in here. So there needs to be a continuation short here. You would have to cover into this node here now and then look for a break underneath. If they reclaim this, unless you like playing rotation, which I don't, you could trade in there, but I won't be trading that today. All right, so I'd be looking for a short somewhere in where we are now, somewhere around here. All right, you would want to see buyers get trapped and then resell that back down and covering some here. If we go rotation, for me, it will mean no more trades, but that's fine. What time frame do I use for the Bollinger Band? I only use it on a daily. Right, let me zoom up here. Lots of you catching that trade with me. Nice work, everyone. Cooper, Hungry Unicorn, some great names here. Antler, Foster Scott, Steve, Big Up Selector, Dean, Info Risk, JJ, Nathan, Jeff, Massive Red Fan, Jacob, Sniping Candles, SS Joking 88, is that? Maybe I've got that wrong, sorry. Candlestick Cricket, great name. Alan P, Bradley, Tartan Trader, Tina, Joan Vok, Nils, JD, Bart, Nils obviously absolutely killed that. Nice work. Delina, Emerald, Frankie, Troy on the cash account since Tradeify's down. There you go. Great reason to have a cash account, even if it's small. Yogi Bear. Krypton says Tradeify trolling me. I'm sorry to hear that, guys. I didn't have a problem. Very lucky me. Christy got it. Nice work, Christy. Mini W, once Tradeify coming back online. There you go. Mika got it. What are you guys saying? Am I completely closed out? Yeah, completely closed out. Once we hit, this was my target, wasn't it? Once we hit that, we probably had excess on that low. I didn't even look because I was already out, but I would imagine there's selling excess on the low. Yeah. So even on an hourly time frame, if we go down to like a 5 minute, there will be selling on the low. There you go. So some excess right now at this low of day, delta at the low of day. So sellers right now are stuck under 25s, right? That is the end of the auction so far. We are coming back up to these key levels we just talked about. You want to see a rejection there, and I would be covering some into these levels, assuming those sellers stay stuck. If they don't stay stuck, you get lucky and you get the continuation. So this, like we talked about, this shelf here, look at that, 46s. We just talked about somewhere in there, you'd want sellers to come back in, right? That's what you're seeing right now. So somewhere in here, you'd want sellers to come back in. And you would need to respect these levels, all right? So if you're short somewhere like here, you would need to cover most of it here. And it's starting to reclaim already and squeeze. So they're already rebidding over this. There is possibly a short from here to here. We do not know if it wants to break down underneath. You must respect that. Sellers are definitely, that is a good auction at the lows. That wick here, when we look inside the profile, right, we can see that is a good auction. 24 and under is all sell side. That means there is a passive buyer, right, down here, who was covering, and he has now joined this tape to try and get a continuation. So I'd be watching here. I'd be respecting, even sellers getting a little bit caught here. If they break under here, I'd be respecting this level and this level. I wouldn't be expecting it to go lower than that. It'd be nice if it would, but I wouldn't expect it. Like I said, low-hanging fruit's gone, right? The low-hanging fruit trade is gone. We've just got exactly what we wanted. If we go back inside this rotation, I would... For me personally, I would leave it alone. So many of you getting this. It's great. What was my first trigger for the first short? I can show you on Bookmap. It was a buyer who got himself caught. Let's get you on Bookmap. All right, I have to go to the start of day. You might get this now. So, guys, if you are short in this now versus the sort of 250s, like I said, I would be covering a little bit into this shelf towards sort of 180s, 170s. We had, and remind myself where those sellers are stuck. Sellers are stuck underneath 26s, right? So you're going to need continuation underneath 26s. If you don't get that, if they start bidding between 60s and 26s, you must pay yourself a little bit. You must pay yourself. So this shelf, if you are short in this shelf, right, on these wicks, I would be taking some TP here and hoping you can get lower, but not guaranteeing it, because if they want to do a second leg, they will do a second leg. Right, so sorry, I've got to get you back on Bookmap. Sorry, I forgot you were on here. My trigger for that short was this player who got caught. I've got to come right back to that. What time was that? Like right at the start of the day. Almost there he is. This guy. See this guy here? All right, there was a big bid here. See this guy, these lots? We sold through it with a 719 lot, and I waited to see if there was a reaction to go upside, and there was no reaction, right? There was literally nothing. So I was like, right, well, I'm joining short, risking that, and if they can't get back above it, then I know I'm going to be comfortably placed because I've got a 719 lot seller who I'm going to assume is going to reload there. So there's the drift down. We didn't quite get to our first target. You can see we came back up to this same level, and they tried to sell it twice against that 300 level, which is what we talked about. Once they lifted through, I covered my runner where I was hoping to get lower. So we got down, we got from 300 to 37. So we got 50, 60 points here. Once they went through that, the squeeze happened. So 300 became that same level. So you can see they dipped down, they held 300. So now I know 300 is the key level. They tried again, they held 300, and then they lifted back up. So we know 300 is the big over-under. They came back in again here, trying to sell the 300. You can see the importance of order flow for me. Again, 300s, 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 and then they let it go. And then we washed back down to the 50s, which was the same level as before. And then this time we broke, right? So it was the same thesis on both trades, and 300 was the key level. It was very, very obvious. In fact, it was so obvious that he was on there even before the open. That guy, he was just hanging out there. Okay. Do I know Kyle Cox? I do not. Who's Kyle Cox? Carl Cox, maybe you mean. I don't know who Kyle Cox is. Carl Cox, I don't know him personally. Kyle Cox. It's like a parody name of it. Does Bookmap show micro or macro? Do you mean minis or micros? I only use it for minis. I'm only interested in what the big guys are using. Yeah, lot size is the amount of units. Correct. Sorry. Ninja Trader and TV are way off again. NT price running. For me, it's all okay so far. Did we swipe previous day low? Yeah, we swiped previous day low and we swiped previous week low. We took both out. These green lines on the charts were those levels, right? Green lines on the charts were the levels. So this was previous day low. This was an old weekly low. And the only thing really left, if we're going to go outside of the bowls, is 25,042, like we just talked about on the dailies, those big levels. How do I trade Aussie USD? I don't. There you go. You're using Webull. There you go. Great. Perfect. When you go short like that, requiring very quick execution, do you use a stop order to get in? And are there some parts of your execution that's semi-automated? I ordered in that one because I was scared I was not going to get filled. But I have an ATM, right? So I know on those market orders, even if I use a hotkey, I have a max loss automatically goes in and a cover point automatically goes in. So if I market ordered here, all right, my max loss is probably up here and my cover point's here, and then I just drag it to where I want to be, and if I don't hit it, I just mark it out or close all. That's one of the advantages of using Ninja Trader. You still look good. This short looks good, guys. This short still looks good. You can see, let's have a look on here. Have we trapped buyers? Yes. So buyers are currently caught over 240s. All right, you need to see follow through under this. This is where these buyers joined in. All right, so I'd be covering a little piece into this. If you break that, we're looking for 25s, and if you break that, new low of day. But the rotation has taken place here between these buyers and these buyers here. So far, it looks all right. The question is, does it need a second leg higher? But if you were short in this shelf, it's looking okay. I'd be watching, trying to see if you can get down underneath here. Here you go, starting to accelerate now. Remember, sellers are caught under 25s. All right, so you must be reactive into sort of this node here. I'd be covering a little piece into sort of where you are now, and then looking to see if you can get to 25s. Because if they hold this, they will look for that second leg. All right, if they hold this, there's your 50%. Right, so buyers are trapped here. If they hold this, they will look for a second leg relief. So you are short here, and you're covering some here, hoping you break 25 for a snap. But there is no guarantee that it's going to do it. So you must pay yourself, because you are not the first opportunity for low-hanging fruit. You are trying to now join a continuation. A very risky area on a higher time frame, but you do have this to protect you. Bookmap's been really stupid today. It's very annoying. Not keeping up with price. I know, mate. CC, I'm absolutely buzzing. I was going to almost wear my shirt today, but I'm sure lots of you are Spurs fans and it would upset you. Or even worse, Chelsea fans from last night. Where did I get the indicator I'm looking at? Which one? This one? This is my indicator. It's a Flowzone Pro system. You can get it on my website. Version of it comes for free when you do the course. All the links are down below, guys. All the links are down below. Is Top Step a good start trading on first timer? It's not bad. It wouldn't be my preference. I would think my top 5 don't include them. I would say Lucid, Funded Next, Apex probably cheapest, but a little tricky to manage, but it will teach you good discipline. Lucid, Funded Next, probably the kindest in terms of being able to pass them and hold positions. PA looks untradeable. I mean, I'd say that was pretty tradable PA. And the price action was pretty good. Look at Bookmap, can't keep up. What are we doing? It's like the auto. Have I clicked something so the auto follows off? Right, they're still rejecting this same level. It's where those buyers were trapped. Remember, buyers are trapped up here. You can see they've just got caught again. This is where those buyers are trapped into 40. 40 to 62 is where those buyers are trapped, right? 40 to 62. These guys here. This is all buy-side delta. So there has been a passive seller here looking for this move to the 50% pullback. You should have taken a partial here in case they want to do a second leg. Second leg would probably look like this into that same level. If we did a measured move, it would probably be exactly that. We go from that high to the low. There you go. Measured move would be into 314s. But map again, getting stuck. Sorry guys, I'm trying to catch up with you. On your PAs, can you talk about what lot position size you use? It all depends what I'm trading with. If I'm trading something with a trailing drawdown and I'm not past the buffer, I use micros. 2, 3, 4, and I start to scale up. If I'm past the drawdown or if I'm trading something where I'm a set and forget, I don't mind using minis as long as I'm being accurate. If I'm not trading well, I always go down to micros as well. Why don't I like Top Step? I hate Top Step X. I hate their morals. I hate their ethics. I hate lots of things about them. Can you make money from them? Yeah. Is Top Step X a good platform? No. It's fucking awful. It's a joke. Right, still rejecting. Look, the 40s up here are still rejecting. The buyers are still cooked up here. You can see again, they just got cooked again up there. They're still rejecting. So you're still good to hold this short right now. So you should have taken 1 TP. You are just waiting to see now if you can get into this area down here. So 75s, underneath 75s. You have a little imbalance down here into these 50s, but the sellers are stuck at 25. So as long as you've paid yourself somewhere into here, then you can sit and hold to see if it's willing to go. They just are bouncing between these two. Maybe they let these buyers out now. This aggressive bid from 95. Jesus Christ. Someone's getting very upset that he's obviously out of position and he needs to push it. There you go. So he's just cleared everyone out. Gross. That is gross. ES finding a bid there as well. Back to its New York Open on ES. So relative strength there again. So ES positive on the day, by the way. NQ's flat, 0.75% down. So that could be a clear out of the high for the second leg. Remember, the measured move would be into 14, somewhere up here. That would be the measured move. But you are now inside this, which means you're starting to see a failed breakdown. I really wouldn't be surprised to see them fuck around with this all day and build liquidity all day now that we've had the low-hanging fruit. I will not be touching the long here. There's just no way. Why Top Step is distrusted? Well, okay, here's why. They used to use data from, or like platforms, other platforms used to be able to use other platforms. Then what happened is Michael Patek got very greedy and decided he was going to create his own platform. Okay, and he made that platform cheaper for you to trade on than the other platforms. So everyone migrated over to this new platform. Is that new platform good? No. Can you use third-party apps? No. Is VWAP accurate? No. Are EMAs accurate? No. Is any of it ever good? No. Have they ever fixed any of it? No. Okay, so then what happened? Then they got rid of all the other platforms, so you could only trade on his platform, which he would make money from no matter what. Okay, and then what happened? Then that platform, well, it kept fucking up and going down. So then all these traders who had migrated over, been forced to move to that platform, I was not one of them because I refused to play his bullshit games, then would get stuck in trades. Then they would lose their money. They would lose accounts. They would be up big and not given that money. So what did they do? Oh, you can have a free account. That is not okay. That is not good justification. Did this happen once? No. Twice? No. This happened numerous times. In fact, it happened one week where it pretty much happened every single day in a row. What's their ambition now? Their ambition now is to open up a brokerage house where you will trade on their platform on a brokerage house and they will try and get a monopoly. Do you want to see that happen? Do you? Fuck. That is the most greedy shit I've ever heard from. And on top of that, the coaching and trading education, full of arrogance from people on their page, is a joke. It is woeful. It is absolutely terrible. Their ethics are awful. They want to talk shit about other people when they are an absolute joke. And on top of that as well, not that I was one of them, but I know lots of people who were affiliates for them who really helped grow their business from early on. And then they just completely cut them loose with like no phone call, no explanation, just completely fucked them over. So in terms of morals and ethics, there's the drive up towards the 14s that we talked about, this same grey box. In terms of morals and ethics, well, I'm a big moral and ethics guy, and do they have any? They do not. All right, so there's the measured move, folks. So that's the second leg. All right, so they held this 50%. There's the measured move. This is your now edge here. All right, and we might very well rotate in here for a long time in this session. Very, very well can do that. Funded next over Lucid. They're both very, very good. I like both of those a lot. How Delta offset works. Yes, well, Delta is the difference between the buyers and sellers. When we have big delta, when we're measuring delta, we're measuring aggressive participants. That means that they're market orders, right? If they're aggressive, they're market orders. So if we have lots of market orders who are sellers, see all this red down here, this big delta down here at the bottom, if these are all market orders and price is not moving lower and we're moving higher, what does that mean? That means in here there's a passive order. A passive order would be a limit buyer, which means someone is absorbing these market orders and everyone's selling into them, and this limit buyer is going, yes, I'm going to have all of that, like a sponge, right? And as price fails to move lower and it starts to move higher, what do? They start to stop out, all right? And so we get this drive up. Right, same as here, we got caught here for a while with these market buyers, got caught at the highs. We've now cleared them out. More market buyers have been caught at the highs. So we will probably trade between these points for a little bit, right, while they make their mind up of what they're doing. Right, and you can see that even on a lower time frame, you'd be able to see exactly the same things. We come right down a lower time frame. You can see this bottom candle is all sellers. All right, this is all sell side, isn't it? Down here, right? Those are all aggressive sellers being absorbed. That means there's someone huge absorbing 481 lots. All right, to move back up. All right, some limit buyer just sat there like a sponge, absorbing it, and then you get the shift. We go back to buy side. Why? Because these guys start stopping out. Right, that's why. Remember, an auction can't take place unless there's buyers and sellers. And you need both aggressive buyers and aggressive sellers for an auction to take place. Like I talked about yesterday, if you just had limit orders, if you just have passive sellers, they will never meet each other, will they? Because if you're willing, I always give that same example. If you own a Rolex Daytona and you currently want to sell it for $60,000, and I want to buy a Rolex Daytona for $30,000, then we have a $30,000 spread. And until we agree price, no auction is done. No handshake is made. I can't even talk. I purchased your course and I can honestly say it's the most comprehensive course I've paid for. Unfortunately, I paid for some that are not worth it. Yours is fantastic. That's great to hear. Thank you very much for the kind words. I dislike Top Step more than Apex. I actually do, yeah. Everyone's got an issue with Apex. What makes me laugh, everyone has this issue with Apex, right? But it's pretty clear. Stick to the rules. There's the rules. Stick to the rules. You get 20 accounts. It's cheap. You stick to the rules, you get paid. All this bullshit about you don't get paid and blah, blah, blah. No, you get paid. Stick to the rules, you get paid, right? Don't stick to the rules, you don't get paid. But all that happens is you roll over for the next 8 days. Everyone's like, oh, I can't deal with the trailing drawdown. It's really not that hard. It is not that hard to deal with. Like, if you're oversizing, you won't deal with it. If you're not disciplined, you don't stop out, you won't deal with it. If you're not taking the correct setups, you won't deal with it. It means you shouldn't be trading anyway. It should teach you some discipline to get past it. It's the same if you get TPT, pass the account, and then you never get paid. It's because you don't know how to manage your positions. You're probably oversizing. Gold doing the move, is it? Is it doing what we talked about this morning and the last few days? Probably. It's probably had that push to sell into. There you go. We talked about this, didn't we? If it has failure to follow through, beautiful. Beautiful. Failure to follow through. If we do this even from here. Yeah, look at that node we talked about. Look how thin we are about. This is everything we talked about pre-market. So there's probably a good continuation short here. All right, so if you were short into this block here, I'd be targeting here for a TP1, TP2, and if they wanted to let go, we can think about coming underneath. Really nice. Very simple. Don't overcomplicate it, folks. So when everyone stops talking about gold, like I will start positioning short side soon, because everyone's going to like stop talking about it. And this to me looks like a small cap. And when everyone stops talking about it and we start doing like this, and everyone's talking about tech again and blah, 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 and we get something, maybe something like this, right? And that will take years and we can just sit in that trade, all right? If we hold this and do this, then higher. Macro-wise, at the moment it points to higher prices, but we'll see. If dollar starts going, then that all goes off the table and we get a fantastic sell. Okay, back down into the same block. All right, so clear out of the 340s up towards the 300, the measured move back into the same area of liquidity. And again, we have trap sellers down here still. All right, but we're into the edge of this range, 190. Start letting go of that. There'll be a rotation further lower. Rain says, I've had an issue weekly, a lockout after wins for the day, and it just disappears. Happened yesterday with Topset. Yeah, it does not surprise me. I've lost 5 XFAs during the December outage. Was out of their window time by 2 minutes. It was cringe. Not going for Topstep again. There you go. Yeah, totally. I'm sorry. I'm just catching up with everything. Yes, it is. Project X is owned by Michael Patek at Topstep. Like I said, you can still get payouts from them. Like, look, if you like their platform, and all that matters is that you guys get payouts, right? If you like their platform, you can still get payouts from them. Don't listen to me, but just spread your bets, right? Have some firms not with them, is what I would say. Not much difference between Topstep and Lucid. No, I agree. I think Lucid is a better package now than Topstep, but look, it's each to their own. Padilla, they're good for swings. Here you go. So coming back down to this level. All right. So this is everything we just drew out into here. This little imbalance. All right. So here's the rotation. So TP1, and then you have to respect this 26s. Right. So we've got an imbalance down in towards these 55s. and then we have to respect sort of 26 and below. If you get that fade underneath, so all they did was clear out the stops, do the second leg, right? 1, 2, do the second leg, break down under here. If they break down under this now, we will see a bigger puke, but we must respect 50s and 26s. So anyone who took that short, it was good. Just a clear out, and then they reshorted the same level. So they ran the stops, right? Made market buyers, stopped everyone out, paired it off, and then failed that same level. And we're coming down to the 50s, the imbalance of the 50s. And remember, the sellers are stuck at 26s, and under 26s, we have room. We have room. Is there an indicator for, I think you're saying, for Thinkorswim platform that will highlight zones where buyers and sellers are stuck? No, not unless it has footprint or something like that. How much is the course? Depends on which course, but I think it should be 699. Now, they better have updated it. He promised me he was going to update it yesterday. If not, you're going to get lucky and you'll get $50 off. Let me have a look. It should be 699. He's still not updated it. Oh my God. Amir, if you're watching, you're going to get a bollocking. Been waiting since January. All right, here you come. So 50's now tagged. So now you'd be watching the 25s. Remember, 25s is where the seller got stuck. Right here, sort of 26 and below. This is the imbalance. Imbalance now been filled. These green lines. There you go. So next level is 25s. And if you get under 25s, new low day. Here it comes. So anyone in this, really nice if you took it. It would have taken 2 attempts. You would have had 1 attempt from here to here. And then the breakdown, same level. And you might get continuation now. So back in towards these 25s and then break down under there. We can look for 25,000. You can look for 25,000, folks. Really good. Here we go. Really nice. There's a bid here at 130, 110, and 100. Any tricks on Apex drawdown? You can be in the money, but still negative drawdown. Trail out stops ATR. Yeah, you should like trail and size down. Got to size down. If you size down, the drawdown won't matter too much. There you go. Let's see if they can get it underneath these trap participants for you. Remember, 25s and under is where they're stuck. My ninja's just gone funny. I've just got a candle out of nowhere. So I'm gonna let me restart this. That doesn't exist. Let's try that again. All right, into these 25s. Remember, this is where the seller's stuck. Continuation under here, you'll get a new low of day, and you'll be looking for 25,000. Let me just check. You'll be looking for 25,000, 20, and then 25,000. So right into where they're stuck, right? 25, 25 and under, there's the push. So you can see they're still stuck there. This is what we talked about. These trap traders, see that? That's where they're trapped. So no acceptance underneath, which is why I'm saying you have to take some money off into that. They remain stuck. So they covered the first opportunity that they had to get out break even. They just took, right? Hopefully that makes sense to you all. Look at that. It seems like that candle that was printed happened afterwards. Mental. Trump news, really? What, right at that time when they got down there? That'd be hilarious. There's probably him stuck, him and his cronies. I've just completed an excellent telephone call with President Xi of China. It was long and thorough call where many important subjects were discussed, including trade, military, the April trip, and I'll be making China. I will be trip that will be making to China, which I very much look forward to. Taiwan, the war between Russia and Ukraine, the situation between Iran, the purchase of oil and gas in China and the United States, the consideration of China of the purchase of additional agricultural products, including lifting the soybean count to 20 million tons of the current season. They have committed 25 million tons for the next season, airplane engines, deliveries, and numerous other subjects, all very positive. The relationship with China and my personal relationship with Xi is an extremely good one, and we will both realize how important it is to keep it that way. I believe that there will be many positive results achieved over the next 3 years of my presidency having to do with President Xi and the People's Republic of China. Right. Sounds like a load of fucking waffle to me, but okay. We react to that, do we? Of an orange man saying, "Oh, I've had a good telephone call." No, that's just trap traders down there. Ugh. I had a great conversation with President Xi, and now it's really good. But next week, I'm going to tell you, I'm the best. He fucked up. We're going to war. I mean, literally, what a load of bollocks. Who fucking cares what he tweets, honestly? Who's this guy, Noah, at the Oscars? What a joke. Almost as bad as Jimmy Kimmel. I mean, I can't believe the shit that this guy comes out with. It's amazing. Yeah. Golden Globes and the Oscars. What a joke. I should win. They should give me an Oscar. Jesus Christ. What a world we live in, guys. What a world we live in. It's crazy, man. Not just that, just all of it. The Epstein stuff, not even with him, like watching all these UK politicians have to resign. Ugh, fucking moron from the Labour Party. They're all a joke. Cali Liberal, not even, man. Like, I think Newsom's an absolute prick. It's not even one side or the other. The world's full of cretins. It doesn't matter whether you wear red or blue. It's just most of them are fucking assholes. They're just complete assholes. Well, that's my whole thing, Zav. That's what I was just saying about Peter Mandelson. That's the whole thing. Like, suck it. Oh, look at that pump. All right, so we've now got more stops down here. Let me just have a look on that last move. See who came in there. The big aggressive bid. All right, so this is how I'm seeing this. These sellers are stuck. We came into this level where they got stuck. A little bit more excess here. Buyers came back in here. So buyers are trying to protect this low now. That's very obvious, right? We can see it right here. Those buyers are trying to protect that low. We come back to the highs. Where are the buyers stuck? Well, where we just traded all the way up to. Buyers got caught up here on the excess of that clear out push. And they also got caught at 40s, wasn't it? Was it 40s earlier today? Getting confusing. I have to go lower time frame there. Give me a second. Yes, buyers just got caught here. And this is now the rotation. This is the same level where we failed at from before. So we're now going to rotate and build out liquidity between here. If they take control of this, there's a potential squeeze. If we start snapping under here, there might be continuation. Like, as you can see, you've probably noticed I'm done because I think the trade setups now require a lot more liquidity to be built out. You can see we've just gone sideways basically since those nice moves. There was a good short, like I would say this was a decent short to here, and then knock out the runner break even, and then that exact same short after they cleared out into that same level. Nice short down to here into where those trap players are, probably knocked out break even on that, and now it's just waiting. It's just a waiting game. This will need to be built out one way or another, even if they're going to use it for either direction. They'll need to be built out. I will not be playing the edges in this. It's not what I'm looking to do personally, but you guys do what you want. And you know, there's how many of you here? 1,200. That means 600 of you have not hit the like button. We will do some giveaways. I'm happy to talk about anything. I'm not going to hammer a load of politics, guys. I don't care who you vote for. It is your right, and it's also your right not to vote. You can do whatever you want. It really doesn't bother me. It makes no difference. I'm not having a go at one person or another. All I'm saying is, you know, how many times have we heard a conversation like that from Trump? I got a great relationship, you know, and at the weekend when the markets are closing, be like, that's it, 500% tariff on China, you know. So, you know, I don't believe a word any of these lots say. It's not because I've red or blue. It's because I trade, and I just don't fucking believe any of them. Right, so that's all it is. You can vote for whoever you want. You can be whatever religion you want. I will not judge you. That's your right. It's absolutely your right. Okay, back down towards these trap players. Bias technically is still lower. It's just whether they can break underneath these. All right, so this same level that we've talked about, where we have these guys trapped. So we need continuation. We'll need to like make these guys be back in the money. We will not want to protect this. So if you are in this short again, I wouldn't blame you. You need to see this expansion. Be very careful of this kind of move of taking it out and reclaiming, just like we did the top side, right? Because we are in range. But point of control is moving down. We are starting to reject it. The lows basically, well, 21s is the end of the current weekly profile on the auction. So we look at this, the current weekly developing. Right, we are starting to reject our current day point of control. We have not been able to get back up to the previous or the weekly point of control. Big old B shape here, I would say, with some distribution left at the top. If we move under this, expansion down to here, but we want to be careful. Look how thin we are here. We want to be very careful trading at these lows. Very, very careful. I wouldn't be adding a short position near the lows. I'd be like short up here, covering the lows, hoping we break lower. Not hope like hopium, just positioned for it, right? Positioned for it, a little bit different. Any thoughts on BTC? Yeah, I mean, I've gone over this the last few days, but I will go over it again. All right. Looking for the undercut and see if we do continuation. Right, there's the undercut. I would not be positioned in much right now. Like I talked about, I think if this is a big if, but if we're going to go risk off, right, you got to understand how BTC works. We go from this low. This would be over 1,000 days to the high, right? Over 1,000 days to the high, so 1,066 days, and we did a move of 706%, all right? I will show you why I'm showing you this. You could argue that this was the low here, but we will see. Over 1,000 days, 1,100, and that was a 2,000% rise, all right? This will be the same every single time. I can keep showing you. It's going to be over, the bull markets are over 1,000 days just based on the cycles. From the pivot low to here, all right, 1,070 days. So 1,070 days, 1,100 days, 1,066 days, all right? All of them with very, very big gains, all right? Let's look at what the downside looks like once we put that in, all right? So here, if we're going to do the drawdown from this, 84%, right? And it lasts 300 days. If we do this drawdown from here, 78%, and it lasts 300 days. All right, so guess what I would consider here as possible, right? We're going to look at 70 to 80% and up to 300 days. Right, so somewhere like this is possible. Is that enough days? Somewhere like this is possible. Now, that's not to say it has to happen, but based on the cycles, right? If I just zoom this out, right? Based on the cycles, that is what we get, right? From the beginning of time of BTC, we get a 1,000-day bull market run with huge gains, and we get a 70 to 80% pullback. We get a 1,000-day bull run, 70 to 80% pullback. We get a 1,000-day bull run, so 70 to 80% pullback. Where would that leave you into? I know it's going to be break some hearts here, and this doesn't have to happen, but it would lead you into around the 25 to 30,000 mark, all right, which is into this gate here, all right? So could it be that this just undercuts and reclaims? Yes. Could it just come down to here and find a bid here because we know it's a big section? Absolutely it could, all right? I'm not saying it can't. You know, maybe this year is different and they do this, and, you know, that's what we look at. But I would just be aware right now, all that we're seeing is a snap of liquidity. All right, we're breaking lows. There's a nice quasi. And even if we looked for a measured move from this, let's see how far this would get us from like leg 1. And if we look to leg 2, right, then we're going to at least look for 60,000. So I want to be very careful. I was considering it. If we wick it and we reclaim, I'd consider it. But I actually think, you know, based on the cycles, we want to be thinking about a move much, much lower. All right, so I just want to be careful of that. And this probably needs repairing. Look how thin this is on a squeeze. I don't think it's ever been repaired. All right, very thin, this move up here. So maybe somewhere into here. So that would be my thoughts on BTC. All right, but obviously, if I'm going to trade BTC, I'm looking for huge swing positions, as in not necessarily huge positions, but long-term swing positions. XRP, it'll be the same thing. You'll just need it. I mean, XRP is like getting absolutely clobbered. It's currently trading at what, 1.5? It's given back like 50% of its gains. It's going to be the same. It's going to be the same kind of story, guys. You're going to need until we catch a bid. Until we catch a bid on the whole market. All right, look how thin we are. Think about what we talk about all the time. Look how thin we are from this breakout. All right, we're probably going to reprice a decent chunk of that. It's interesting. I don't think there'll be enough data here to do this, but I will give it a go. No, not enough data. All right, what about, can you let me draw one on? Yeah, that is what would worry me. Very thin. Very, 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 very thin. If you're very lucky, you're going to find a bid here. But you can see we've lost this shelf. All right, so all buyers are now caught over 180 and certainly over 2s. All right, so we've got buyers stuck, and until we reclaim that, look how thin we are. Where's the next level where it gets thick? I hate to fucking say it. I hope it doesn't come down there for you lot, but you know, maybe it finds a bid here at like a 50% retracement of this gap. But this is very, very thin. Very, very thin. All markets move the same way, so we just have to see. Hopefully, they do some horrible trap for you. Hopefully, you see something like this. But, you know, if BTC does a 70-80% pullback, then you best believe that's probably going to get filled in. Okay, how are we doing for likes? I would like to do some giveaways. Let's get these likes up. Gold and silver. Shaz, I've gone over gold and silver a few times, buddy. I've gone over them a few times. Just rewind the show. Gold and silver are doing the failure to follow through kind of move. All right, so gold from a swing position, I'll just do it very quickly. From a swing point of view, right, you'd be looking for the short, for the failure to follow through, which is what you're starting to see today. It's no different to a small cap. You go from the high to the low, we come into that golden kind of pocket. All right, we talked about the volume. All right, tapped back into this. All right, so this is where buyers last came in with size. We tapped back in. They just got out break even. You're now likely to see a rotation back down. I mean, if it can't hold a bid over 930, then we're probably going to come back into 930. Is that right? 930, then we're going to come back into 650s, right? So if it can't, this is your failure to follow through. A revisit down here is likely. There's probably a short down into here, unless they go for a second leg and then do the same thing. All right, and then you have to see if they collapse it and sweep all of this out. If they reclaim this, all right, if this, and this happens, then new highs are possible. All right, but right now, that is a clear failure to follow through. And I will be looking for a long-term position after I get off stream and start figuring out what the market's trying to do. Get some limit orders out in some areas of interest for me. Sorry guys, I'm trying to read all the chat. Does the market work the same way for NQ, 1,000 days and pullback? No, it's just for BTC. That's the BTC market. It will all be to do with the halving cycles, I would imagine. I'm not a big crypto guy, but I would imagine that's why. What is the blue and grey volume indicator you're using? This is anchored volume profile. How do you qualify for the giveaways? I announce it on stream and then we type a word in and it pulls it at random. Any thoughts on trade day? Yeah, trade day are pretty good. If you want same day payouts, they take a bit long to pass, but they're pretty good. Nvidia, can have a quick look. So if you're still in the short, you look good. You just need acceptance. Remember, underneath the sort of 25s, and this is looking more and more like that sort of basketball, sort of short, failure, cleared out the stops, failure, little pump off a stupid tweet, failure, and under here is your TP. So I'd pay yourself some into here if you haven't already, and then you're looking for 25,000. You're looking for 25,000. Where do I draw my profile from? From the 9:30 open, my friend. 9:30 open. How can you learn from me? Well, you can turn up each day. You can do all the free videos on my YouTube, and you can do the courses if you want to do the 20-hour course or the volume profile course. Links are down below, or just head over to flowzonetrader.com. Come on, Bookmap. What is up with you today? It's starting to really piss me off. Not recentering properly. All right, big sellers coming in here looking for that wash. Remember, 25's where they kept getting stuck before. Still not getting that wash underneath. My 5-minute chart, there we go. Still protecting some of these nodes down here. Grey box. AI is telling me 25,040. We'll see, testing it. I mean, we just did. We've seen it already. Have I heard of deep charts? I have. I've not used them, so I can't comment, but they look pretty good. My YouTube channel deserves 1,000k subs in here. So much value each day from market open. Alex, it's insane. Oh, thank you, Newbie Spy. Is there another market cycle strategy for NQ? I've never really measured out on NQ, but I would say you know, we can just follow the diff. Okay, let me tell you something. The big difference between NQ or indexes and the rest of the market, right? The indexes are built to go higher. Okay, the indexes are built to go higher. Why? All right. If any of you follow football or especially in Europe, all right, we have what we would have relegations, right? Relegations and promotions. Okay, so we have all these different divisions of soccer teams. I hate that I'm calling it soccer, but just for your Americans, all these different divisions of soccer teams. And if you are a top team from, let's say, Division 2, all right, you get promoted into Division 1. And if you are a lower team, if you're a bad performing team in Division 1, you get taken out and put into Division 2, right? So why am I telling you that? Because the indexes work the same way. We call it rebalancing, okay? We call it rebalancing, which means if there is a badly performing stock in the QQQ, which is the NQ, guess what they do? They boot those stocks the fuck out of there. And what do? They replace it with well-performing stocks, with stocks which are doing really, really well, which means if we think about the QQQ, it's 100 stocks. We boot 5 weak ones out. We put 5 strong ones in. What's it going to do? It can only grow, all right? They are fixing it so there is good growth for it. When you're looking at individual names, you don't have that. You do not have the luxury of it being a bundle which is positioned to go higher long term. Okay, so understanding the difference of that is really, really key. Right, back towards these 25s. Remember, under here, there is a chance that they might come and sweep. Still, Bookmap keeps getting stuck for me. I'm very tempted to reopen this. So here you go, 25s again, 25s again, 25s again, and you might get follow through if they can get under here for a new low of day. But this is key now, and potentially you're looking for 25,000. So if you're in this short from up here, you better be paying yourself a little bit and then look to see if you can break low of day and get down. I mean, I do have a block here, 25,090 down to 25,030 and then 25,000. ES holding up very well, like we talked about, broadening market. I think you might get a low of day sweep here at the very minimum, but we will see. Very, very close there. What you may miss it by a couple of ticks. We can go over to here, looking at these same levels. These guys, remember, these are the guys that are stuck. So they keep covering. The moment they stop covering, you will get this low of day break. Here it comes, folks. There's your low of day break. Congratulations. Pay yourself now and then look to see if you can get into 25,090. Oh, what just happened there? Let's get that back, please, for the team. All right, so you're looking for 90 and then all the way down into 25,000. Here we go, team. Big snap. So we've just built out all the liquidity and now we're going to use it to drive lower. All right, we're going to use this to drive lower now. So into 90, I would say this is a bit of a cover point just based on some key levels. Let me just check this level on the daily. Next liquidity, 25,030. I'm going to mark this out for you. 25,030 is what you're looking for. This right here. All right, if you can get into that, that's your next TP point. Do not let it reclaim now. If you were short from any of these up here, do not let it reclaim 135s, okay? Here we go. It's getting very, very weak. And as long as you stay heavy versus this grey box now, then we should have a continuation lower, as long as they don't let them out. Come on, Bookmap. You are making my life really hard. Fixed volume, it's anchored volume right here. It's anchored volume, 2 ticks per row, and I have it at width of 20. Okay, so they're still selling into this. We're building out a bit of a volume node down here in towards these 90s, these 86s. There is an imbalance here to 91, then another to 13, and then another to 19. Remember, very thin down, so we would expect some kind of retracement up and then see if they resell it. If they don't resell it, it will be a failed auction. but I think they will want to resell this. I don't think they're done with it yet. ES coming down to its IB low as well, so you can watch that. If ES starts getting weak, the broader market will get weak with tech. That will help you. But we're building out a little node down here. We might very well want to come up to these 180s, but you can stay short as long as you were short, obviously, above all of this versus this sort of 130. You won't want to reclaim. Ideally, they reject somewhere in here and come down into this is what you'd be looking for. Here we go. Can we get under this? Just want to check I'm not missing anything on an hourly basis, an old hourly wick. Yeah, we're coming into these. Looks good. We're trading into that Jan 21st. That's where we're trading into right now. Looks really good. So can I get under all of this and get into those 30s for you guys? Looks good. Looks good. Right, while you guys wait on that, I'm going to get a little coffee here, if that's all right. I'll be right back. How are we doing for time? I want to do a giveaway as soon as we get back, all right? So just be mindful of that. Smash the like button. Look at the VIX. Look at the VIX. Right back up into these 19s. So VIX will be looking for a 1962 break. If we get that break on the VIX, we're going to go back to previous day high. This looks really good. So make sure you're getting ready to cover some into this green line. If we get to that green line, you very well might get a really nasty stop hunt. So you can put some wish orders out down here, because if we break that, you might get a stop hunt. So you cover some into this, but you might want some wish orders down here for this, all right? I'll be right back. This is the kind of black swan day we've talked about. All right, sorry folks, I had to make a fresh brew. Okay, you're still building out down here. Nice rejection of the IB low. There you go. That was what you should have been looking for. So anywhere from IB low up to value, remember, rejection of that, and you're looking for this. And hopefully this breaks now, this shelf for you, and you can get that move. Really good. Fantastic. Hopefully some of you took that if you weren't already in. right? There's your IBL. Really good. And this is your TP now down into this. And move your stop down. Make sure you're protecting some profits here. Fantastic. Fantastic. Here you go, folks. You're going to get it. So 30s, and then after 30s, what can we think about? I'm going to have to keep going back a long way. After 30s, we can try and look for 24,900. Right, so we're going to respect 25,000. We're now going back to the 17th of December. All right, here we go. Starting to see acceleration here. So happy for you guys. Really good. Yeah, have your wish orders. Have your wish orders out. Oh, wish orders, what are they? Wish orders are like hoping price gets somewhere. So like if we snap this, you might see a stop run of a really nasty candle. So you can cover some towards this, but you can have some limit orders down here, hoping that it fills them all in one quick go, right? Well, that's what I do. That's what I have. So I have my main TP, but when we're about to break a big pivotal level, I might have some limits set further down, just in case we do a big swipe and then a reclaim. Oh, NVIDIA. Yeah, no worries, mate. So let's just manage this, get down into here if possible, and then I'll have a look at it. Remind me again if I don't do it. Where can you reach out to me? On email, info@flowzonetrader.com. Nice work, everyone. Sometimes I use the Dixie, but at the moment, you know, not needing to use it too much. I think they're going to push the Dixie a little bit, which might help market rotate, but it's more about the Dixie and gold relationship right now, I'd say. All right, let's get to these targets, guys. I'll tell you what, let's make a deal. Let's get to these targets. Once we get off these targets, I will happily look at NVIDIA, Palantir, and someone said something else. Was it PayPal? We can look at all of those together. Happy to look at them together. So a little bit of front running here. Just note, ES just bounced off its IBL. All right, so watching them as a pair. ES has just found a bid on its IBL right now, right in front of it. All right, so you need ES to stay weak and wash down into some of these levels. Remember, we're all the way under this. All right, so we are already on NQ. We're way down under this. Remember, these were the low-hanging fruits for us. So we shorted the weaker asset. We took this out. We've just rejected. We're down here now. Very, very different charts. Why? Because the broadening market. Right, and they're still holding up some broadening market. Some of the other sectors. You do not want a reclaim of this up here. You do not want to see that reclaim. Making this very tricky by saving that by that much. Very silly of them. Very silly of them. A bit like this morning, they did the same bollocks. Why is your initial balance low much higher than mine? I don't know. Well, it shouldn't be. The low of day was, IBL was putting at 10 a.m. and the high was the open, and we didn't trade under or over that before 10:30. So the initial balance is your first hour of trading. So it's a reclaim here. So I'd be out of this now, and then you'd have to watch if they're going to reject 150 here. You've got to see this reject this kind of level it's in now. If you don't see that, the way they're washing this around is pretty gross. Look at this 100-point ripper almost straight back upside. Pretty disgusting. That's ES off the IBL doing that move. Is Trump still speaking? I don't think so. It's just a tweet that he did. It's just a tweet. There you go, back into the red box. Still okay here. If they reclaim IB and hold, though, I'd be completely done with it for the day. You wouldn't want to see that. All right, let's go over these charts quickly that you wanted, and then we're going to do the giveaway. So NVIDIA, some of you interested in NVIDIA, selling off that AMD news, I'd imagine. Starting to look a little bit dangerous here, folks. I'm not going to lie to you. This is a quasi. Failing to make a new high. That's not good. Lots of liquidity and stops will be under here. Yeah, you can see where it gets thin. If you start losing these 170s, all right, if you start seeing this move here, we are coming straight down to this. All right. The only other option is that they come under, trap, reclaim, and go again. But this looks not good. This is not bullish. All right. This quasi point of control, failing to hold above point of control, starting to lose it. Very thin under here. The moment you start to lose that, it is good night, sweetheart. All right. And that'll be the start of the move with everything else. So it's not looking too good for Nvidia right now. Someone asked about Palantir. Same kind of story, folks. We're going to see this story across the indexes. All right, way too frothy, way too frothy. That is ridiculous. All right, that is absolutely ridiculous. I know, like from macro point of view, all the government news giving it new contracts, but even for a mean reversion, we're likely to see something. I mean, I can't even measure it out. I'm gonna have to do it another way. Yeah, same kind of story. I'll be watching into this pivot right here, 23s. 23s, if we lose 23s, you know where we're going. Maybe a little undercut there would be good. You could set price alerts. Really depends what the tone of the market is for the rest of the year. But something like this, right, potential buy then. But look, failed to make a new high, broke down underneath, breaking down under this swing, starting to go bearish into some key levels. If we let go of that, deeper pullback very possible. What was the other one? PayPal. Someone wanted PayPal. I was trying to be long PayPal earlier this year and cut it. I was up a few times. Oh, that's getting crushed. Bad earnings, was it? Missed on earnings. That is not a good look. That is a big miss. Yeah, they're getting wrecked. Let's go to a weekly. Oh my gosh. Probably into an interesting area though, if I'm honest. I would imagine you're going to see some accumulation start to happen down here now. Not a bad area. Not a bad area to start buying in. Doesn't mean it can't break lower. Like if they really want to start breaking these 30s, you know, don't think we can't come under all of that. But I would imagine that's a pretty good area to start looking at for the next few days or the next few weeks. At the very least, you're going to see a retest of this, right? Even if they resell that down. Under here is obviously a no-go, but this is an interesting area for accumulation. That was the COVID pump, and then the post-COVID collapse, and then they failed to reclaim this level. So you've got lots of trap buyers in here, but I'd imagine there is some relief from here to here at some point. At some point, we will see a relief bounce for a back test. Remember how the market moves. If we just consider this a wave, right? Right, we will come and at least back test this. So there is a trade from here to here, at the very least, going to happen. Yeah, that's that PayPal's interesting for to scoop up, to be honest. Right, how are we doing in the market? Where are we? Okay, back down towards the low. So nice rejection of red box, nice rejection of value. Motherfuckers. Had to like squeeze that a little bit more than they should have. You're still looking for 30s. If you added back on there, you're still looking for 30s. And under that, new lows. Have a look at the profile here. How are we developing? Bit of a shelf here at sort of 70s. We should break lower. We should break lower. It's just whether they want to play more games. If ES breaks IB, that will really, really, really help. Really help. Okay. Let's... Here you go. I think you're going to get it, folks. They are very, very close to giving this move for you guys. Liquidity here at where is he? 70 at 550 is 150 lot at 550. Once we trade through him, we should get that 30 move. Here we go. Here's the 50s. Come on, get out of the fucking way. Just let it snap. You're not going to hold this up, you absolute cretin. Get out of the fucking way. Lots of sellers down here. Let's see if we can get 30s. You don't want this back above 50s. Here we go. 40s. You're going to get the 30s here, folks. It's almost there. So, and get your wish orders out. Do not let this reclaim. Get your wish orders out. You want a snap of 30s. So you should be taking some profit in front of this, like we talked about. Take some profit in front of this and have your wish orders out here, because if they run this stop and you get a really nice wash, it would be amazing. And you would want to protect this grey box now. I'm going to draw it in for you. You'd want to protect this now. You should get it, folks. You should get it. The short was 40s. You would have had to have a couple goes at this. And then the IB short, not too bad either. This is your last target, or here, and then here. Okay, big seller came in there at 50. He got absorbed. The other big seller above was at 77. So 52, there is a little imbalance to 80 is the level if they want to save. Let me get this ready. How are we doing for time? How are we doing for likes? How are we doing for people on the stream? Pretty good. Not too bad, guys. Not too bad. I think lots of people made their money early again today. Okay, I should say it's also last day of the Apex sale. So 90% off. Today is the last day for that sale. You're rejecting grey box here. That's your over-under for continuation. Hopefully, you can get the final targets down here. So far, you're rejecting grey box, which is what we just said. You want to see it reject that. This is your TP right into here, and then wish orders down into here, please. And as soon as this is done, we will do the giveaway. You're almost there. You're so close. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming back to the 50s. Under these 50s again, they resell it. You should get that move. Come on, stop holding up 50s. Anchored volume profile settings. Yeah, gone over them a few times already. It's 2 ticks. 2 ticks. All right, and style 20% set to right. That's all I change. Come on, give the team the money. All right, give the team the money. TP into here. Don't be a dick for a tick. If this doesn't want to give it to you, at least pay yourself some in case they're fucking assholes. Hopefully they're not, pardon my French. And hopefully we get down into here. How do I decide where to place my stop loss? The other side of volume, right? So if you just got short on this reattempt here, you want it to protect the other side of volume. So I'd be short in here with my stop here. All right, this would be a bit of a pain. You could have, I guess, shorted this node with your stop into this one, or you could have reshorted this with your stop into that, for example. The IB trade was very good, and then they washed you out, and it would have needed a re-entry. But I used volume, or where the trade is no longer valid, right? So if you were going to be short down here, you would have to have your stop here, or you would have to do it on the change of character up here, which means you would have to use very small size, because that's over 100 points away. I can't. Sorry, 80%. I can't do what you want. I'm really sorry. Like, I'm also having to trade and having to manage stuff. I can't say all the numbers all the time. I get what you're saying, but I'm drawing it on. I will try my best, but very hard for me to do that. Because if I'm saying here and I put it the other side of this node, I'm not going to give you the price of the node. I'm really sorry. I get that makes it harder for you. Can I hold your hand? Here. Take it. Take it. Okay, type FZT in chat. Just type it once. Please don't spam, and we will pick a winner for the Apex giveaway with that. So just type it once. Code FZT for your cheapest prop firms. It's the best code to use. I'll give you guys a minute to do that. Look at this squeeze back up to the red. I can't believe they protected that low. Again, ES again holding the IB. So that holding the market up pretty well there on the ES. Pretty well there on the ES. Give you guys another minute. Right, if we start to reclaim here, and do a W and base above here, you will expect range rotation from sort of above 140, 150 for relief up to the 210s. I would not be trading that long, but those of you who like range rotation, that is a viable setup if they start to trade through some of this. It's very, very risky. In my mind, you want to stay short on a day like today, but we will see. If they're starting to reclaim, we have to be willing to at least think about that. Moment they've just washed everyone out, come up to the red box. Grey box becomes key now. So if they trade between grey and red, build the liquidity, build the liquidity, build liquidity. Relief will come outside of this for that, or outside of this for a wash into these. They are dirty. We missed our final TP there by 8 points, 12 points. Horrible, horrible buggers. Can I show my indicators? It's the Flow Zone Pros. They're here. Right, a version of it comes with the 20-hour course. Otherwise, you can buy it on my website, but probably best to do the course so you understand how to use it. Okay, pulling this winner. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Oh, look at that! I know this guy, Foster Scott. That's two big wins for Foster Scott. He won in the community recently as well. Nice, dude. I will hook you up on Discord. Make it easier. That's nice and easy. Nice and easy. Let me send you a code now. Where are you? There you are, Scott Lee. There you go, buddy. I just sent it to you on Discord. Always nice when a member wins. I'm sad I missed the short on NQ and on gold and silver. I felt so much FOMO to chase, but I ended up not taking the trade. Well, don't worry about it. Tomorrow is a new day. This afternoon's a new session. Don't worry about it. It's just a trade. It's just a trade. There's going to be lots of trades set up this year. Trust me. The amount of volatility we're having, the amount of shakeouts in the market, there will be lots of trades happening. That is not a good rule. JC. 15-second imbalances. Really? Get out of here with that. Get out of here with that. Might as well mark out a 2-second imbalance. Get out of here. 15-second imbalances. Get out of here, mate. No such fucking thing. One tick imbalances, yeah, exactly. Alex, what's your thought on anchored VWAP? Per example, gold rejected exactly the all-time high anchored VWAP before reversing. Oh, I love anchored VWAPs. There's a free lesson on my YouTube about them. I absolutely love anchored VWAPs. The New York one is anchored to the open. We could probably anchor one to the low and the high of day. We could probably do one to the overnight high. There you go. It's rejection all day long. Right. There you go. Yeah, I love them. I love anchor VWAPs. I think they're very, very useful. I like them on like news events or big pivot events. So something like you said, like gold, an all-time high anchored VWAP, very, very good. A low swing pivot, very, very good. Yeah. Okay. Going to give away an introduction course, guys. So this is just for someone who's very new to trading. If you've traded for a while, this will not probably be that helpful for you, but you do get a discount into the main course if you do it, but feel free to give it to a friend. Type course in chat once and we'll do that giveaway. Give you guys a moment to do that. Someone said, what do I think of ICT teachings? They are what they are. Some of it's good, some of it's a joke. Most of it's regurgitated. I think he's an arrogant fuck, I'll tell you that much. I am the market. It's me. It's not volume profile. It's me. Yeah, it's you. Of course it is, mate. I'd like you to sit down with Jamie Dimond and say that to his face, you cretin. Are some of his teachings good? Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Some of the teachings are good. They are useful. But he is not the algorithm. He is not the market. Get the fuck out of there. It's me. I was kidnapped in a van and told the secrets of the market by God himself. Yeah, mate, and my name's Dirk Diggler. Yeah, there you go, Psychos. I agree with that. He's annoying, but he does drop some decent knowledge. Yeah, that's it. All right, let's pull this winner for the course. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. How do I say that? UTFK03. Are you here? UTFK03. Yeah, nice. Okay. If you can just email me, please, info@flowzonetrader.com. And I'll sort you out with a course. Just send me a screenshot of you logged into your YouTube. I will sort you out. Congratulations. He's Wyckoff before Wyckoff. I mean, yeah. I mean, he must be 400 years old if he's Wyckoff before Wyckoff. Crazy. It's a crazy world. I mean, the whole I created the algo thing is just he's copying Wyckoff's theory of seeing the market as an individual person. Even I say that. I call them being market makers and stuff. It's easier to think of the market that way, but there is no one algo, guys. That's if you believe that, then I don't know what to tell you. You're going to have a very unhappy life. I mean, you're an incredibly gullible person if you believe that. info@flowzonetrader.com. That's it. The composite. I think, is it operator or the composite man, isn't it? The composite man. There's a free video on my YouTube on that. The composite man. Okay, they're still looking to reject up here this same node, but the grey box to this node is starting to become important. All right, from here to here is becoming important, and we still have low hanging fruits down here as the last chance for it to get lower. But ES is holding the market up pretty well right now, but this is starting to look very aggressive. Sellers last got stuck here at 70s, by the way. There were sellers at low of days at 50s. It's looking like it's trying to accelerate. It is attempting to accelerate lower here to clean up the low of day. But I'd be watching these 50s. Okay, 50s, we had a big seller at that low. So 70s, there was some selling before, so at 70s to 77. 50s is where that big seller at low of day got caught. If you get under there, under 50s, we should get that 30s, which is what we're looking for. We would like to see 30s. So we're letting go of 50s here. Can we let go to 50s here? Still hovering around these 70s. The reason I'm talking about this right here, all right, down into here, 50s, where these sellers got stuck, and underneath that, we should break and get the target. If we can let these sellers out, we should break and get the target. Leaving this shelf, if we can leave this shelf, we should break. We're just going to have to respect 50s on the nose. I can show you it right here. Can I move this up? No. Come on, move up, please, mouse. This guy right here. Right, this big lot here, 50s. An 89 lot down there. We're going to respect him. So you take a partial into him and then see if we can break down. And ideally, ES joins the game. Remember, ES is still not taken out its IB low yet or anything. Bookmap continues to be annoying today. Show my trades. I mean, I'm not in a trade. We had them this morning. These were my trades this morning. Here and here. This is what I've called for you since. VIX is climbing. No, VIX is still stuck in between those ranges, right? So VIX keeps finding bids down at 1850. It's still not broken out of its like 1925 pivot. The big pivot is 1960s, right? Through 1960s, we're going to go previous day high on VIX. Start cursing to push it down. It's coming, folks. It's coming. Look, we're still just in the grey box. If we reject grey box, we should get the swipe. We just need ES to stop fucking around. What do I think about longing after we hit TP? I wouldn't be doing that unless we trap a significant amount of liquidity. You've got to remember we are starting to break down daily, weekly, monthly levels, right? Be zoomed out, understand what we're trading to and why. I wouldn't be trying to guess the bottom on a day like today. They tried to do that yesterday and saved it. All right, watch these 50s now as a cover point. You can cover some in front of 50s. And if we snap 50s, you're looking for 30s. So right into these 50s again. ES still not breaking down under IB. So you've got a TP here into 50s. If they cannot break 50s, be very careful. If you break 50s, you're going to get a new lower day. So 50s back up to 70s, potential rotation. 20-point rotation here. Sellers came in at 76s and 70s. 50s still the level where those sellers at the low of day got stuck, which I showed you earlier. Under 50s, we should get that break. Here's the 50 tag. So 50, your TP now hit, TP1. And let's see if you can get the 30s. Let's see if you can get the 30s here. They are adding liquidity lower. I would like to see you just trade underneath all of this now. Here you go. Get under 50s. We don't want them stuck down there. If you want to hit final TP, we want these sellers. They've got to be aggressive, and they're aggressive now and get rid of all this absorption. Just snap it. They've got to snap it all. They're trying. They're adding down at 50, 25,020. You should get it. One big swipe will do it here. Come on, sellers. Wakey, wakey. Wakey, wakey. They're piling in down here without follow through. Be very careful. They keep piling in down here without follow through. 50 still being absorbed. This same level that we've talked about. This same level. Sellers keep getting stuck right into here again. You see it again. They just tried very aggressively to get through here. So we come back to this imbalance, and they might have one more attempt. If they fail that attempt, I'd be done with it. If they fail this next attempt, I'd be done with it. Here they go. Back to the 50s again. Come on, give it to the team, for God's sake. Under the 50s, give them some follow through to 30s. Come on, for goodness sake. Here we go, folks. 40s, low of day break. You want 50s to be protected now, and then you're going to get green line, and then wish orders underneath green line, please. Here you go, 40s. Come on, give it to the team. Come on, come on, come on. Remember, your next TP is here, and your wish orders are down to here, down to 25k and under. Grey box still holding up really well. Get under this 50, for goodness sake. It's coming, folks. It's coming. Come on. Someone is absorbing down here. Someone is definitely absorbing down here. I think you're going to get the break, though. I cannot imagine that they keep saving this, but who knows? As long as you've paid yourself some. '50s to '70s, still a rotation. If they want to pop it, same as they did last time. You would not want it above that, I'll tell you that much. There is liquidity down at 20, so I think we should swipe this guy, our level here at 30. We should swipe him. If ES can stop fucking about, it will really help. Here you go. 40s again. 40s again. Get your wish orders out, folks. Get your wish orders out. We're very close. Get your wish orders out. Here we go. Here we go. 35s, 33s. You can see they're front running that a bit. There's a sell side imbalance here into 39, which they're just tapping back into. Hopefully we reject it and wash. Otherwise, we're going to go back to 50 for one last check. Look at that. They're front run by a tick. Maybe a point. Come on. Give it to the team and then wash it. Here it comes. Here it comes. Woo! Okay, wish orders out. Hopefully they snap this down now. There you go. Some of your wish orders should be getting hit here. And what a beauty. What an absolute beauty. All right, so we can think about 25,000 now. And here we go. Here's the wish order. This is what I'm talking about. We are snapping big levels. You can start washing aggressively here. So you can just start trailing now. And we can get very nasty here. We can get very nasty here, potentially down into 24,880. Here we go, folks. What a beaut. Oh, why did he say wish orders down to this blue box, I wondered. Why did we say wish orders down to this blue box? It's because I am the algo. It's nothing to do with volume. I'm the algo. Let's go, baby. What a beaut. What a beaut. What a beaut. Look at you guys making so much money. You're maxing it out, all your accounts. I love it. I love it. Nice work. Nice work. Are these blue light glasses? They are blue light glasses, but they are more just normal glasses as well, because I am blind. That's why you'll always see me wear glasses. I've got a new pair coming. No reversals, guys. You guys keep calling for reversals. Look, please, guys, please. You got to understand what we're doing today. All right, you got to understand what we're doing today. We're potentially leaving 3 months worth of trap participants. Okay, remember we filled the gap up here last week. We failed to hold the breakout. We traded back underneath. We have a shelf here. If we leave this shelf, we will come back down towards the 200-day. This can be the black swan, start of the black swan kind of event, where we start to sell tech underneath the lower Bollinger Band, where we have divergence to ES. Go back to the beginning of the video today, 9:15 to 9:30. I talked about this move today. Reject gray, come down, stops here, stops here, stops here to hunt. We are starting to really get aggressive. Here's 25,000 now. Oh, big level. Big level. No offense, but you're making the same trade using only moving averages. Cool story, bro. I've got moving averages on here. Doesn't mean shit, though, if you can't manage your position. Cool story. What's your moving average down here that you're trading into? Because the only thing left to attack now is the 200. Don't think I don't use moving averages. I use them. Why are we in a sell? What rolled over? Oh, there it is. I don't have to be a genius. Here we go. All right, so let's see if we can dig down any further. I'm watching the next daily pivot. We have an old open here at 76. And then we're watching 24,890. 24,890. So here we go into the top of the blue box. We can trim some here, and then we're looking for all the way down to 890. Here will be the next level. I'm going to put a horizontal line here. Right, this is the next level. So trimming some into here, and then down into there for your next spot. We're getting extended here, folks, and move your stop down. You do not want to let this rip all the way back, 70, 80 points on you, do you? All right, so a break above this shelf here, where we get thin, above 13, we can see a squeeze back up. So do not let it do that on you when you're managing your position, please. There's no news, guys. No, guys, okay. News doesn't trigger stuff, all right? Volume triggers stuff. News is just fluff. We're rotating out of tech. There's your news. We sold AMD when it had good earnings. There's your news. Do you know what I mean? We're selling Palantir after the push up. There's your news. It's all bollocks. All that matters is the volume. We are leaving trap volume. All right, into the top of the blue box here. We know this is starting to be quite a key level here. All right, this goes back to a node that we created from the week starting the 15th of December, and we can trade down to this green line. But this is an area we found bids on the 15th of December, so that you know how far back I'm currently looking. There's lots of ways to skin a market, trader on tilt. It's not about the teachings. It's about saying that you own it all and that you are the algo. You want to talk about ways to skin a market? I'll tell you, there's a million ways to trade. I'm not the one that thinks it's only my way. That would be the grey-haired man that you currently look up to, clearly. How old are you? 18, probably. You're probably 1 or 2 years into it. I mean, your name's Trader on Tilt. Okay, top of the blue box. Starting to find a bit of a bid here. Like we said, dates back to the 15th of December. Might find a bid here. And the trigger back for a squeeze would be above 14s. Do not take the long squeeze, but a back above 14s, there is a squeeze out to 50s. Oh my God. Dude, you're insufferable. Goodbye. Okay. Any ideas to get back in? No. No, we're extended now. We're leaving shelves now. So you should be out most of your TP. The only thing left to do is come down here. We're starting to see big extensions. You're starting to see panic. You're starting to see ES. Right, ES now trading down towards that previous day, previous week low. All right, so we're watching ES into 688675 and 6878. But we're into the key level. All right, if we go back on a daily here, you understand where we are. I can move this down a little bit. One here and one here. All right, this is where we're trading back into, this block. And then the bottom of this blue right here. And you've got to understand, like we talked about, we are potentially going to leave all this volume trapped. And if we start to find acceptance here, we will start to rotate into some of this. It's what we've been going over for weeks. All right, we've built out so much liquidity dating back to 5th of Jan. So much liquidity dating back to the 5th of Jan. You managed to make double your target in 5 minutes. Nice work. Yeah, like we said, guys, why does everyone bang on about ICT so much? It's insane. Yes, some of his concepts are great. Yes, like I said, some of his teachings are really good. They're not always that accurate, but they're really good. But he did not create the algorithm. He does not own the stock market. You should not be shitting on volume profile and all this other stuff. Like I said, if you think you created the stock market, go and sit down with Jamie Dimon, and I'd like to see him have a chat with him. All right. Otherwise, shut the fuck up talking about a grey old man. Who fucking cares? Your job is to make money. The end. The end. I don't care how you make money. Right? The end. The end. That's the end of it. All right? They're not his concepts. Fucking hell. I don't know how many times I can say this on stream. Why do people want to protect this person that they don't know? It's insane. Made 146 points. I'm out. I got scared. I don't blame you. It's such a good trade. So what? You're to here. Did you take it from up there? I'm not sure. Maybe you took it a re-entry here. but we're into the blue box. It's a good place to start covering now, isn't it? You don't want to, like, look how steep we are since the snap. Remember we said since this snap, since here, you should have wish orders down to the blue box because this can happen, and they might well put in a pivot at some point. All right, we'd expect some kind of retrace. We don't just trade straight down, do we? But since snapping this, right, we said there'd probably be wish orders down into the blue box. Why did I mark out the blue box? It's dating back to where we found a bid from the 17th of December. So if you look at the lows of both November the 25th, all right, and the 17th of December, those have been protected lows. All right, that's why. Yeah. Right here. All right. If we think about the swing points, right, since we found a bid in November, right, this level here, we drifted away, we came back to it, right, we retested it, we held. We are coming back to that same level, all right? This means that every participant, other than these guys here, right, every participant in this market since what did I say? 5th of November, which is probably somewhere around here. Since here, let's move this out of the way. Since the 5th of November, there you go. Since the 5th of November, pretty much all that volume will be trapped. We have a shelf here. We have some buyers who stepped in here on what day? The 20th of November to the 24th. But if we find acceptance under here, it means that all of this volume, 3 months worth of volume, which for you guys who want to keep talking about ICT, who he says does not exist, volume doesn't matter. Well, it fucking does, because if we leave that, we will get very, very, very heavy. Remember, most of the range has been created in here. This has been the rotation. Look below, fail, rotate, look above, fail, rotate, look below, fail, rotate, look above, fail, rotate, look below, look above, and now we're right back down into this. Right, that's why. No, it's not that I'm triggered by it. It's that everyone in chat wants to talk about it. Do you know how many fucking insanely amazing traders there are out there? There are some incredible traders out there that are not these guys. Like, go and read Market Wizards, right? Go and read Market Wizards. There's a good start for you guys who want to talk about real traders who've done some like big trades and made real money. Go and read some of the memoirs by guys who are running like legit hedge funds, who are working in like the emerging banks, who go and read like, oh my gosh, I'm not even going to, it's not even worth it. Even go and listen to like guys like Mike Katz, all those guys, like who are trading like the small caps pre-2019. I mean, like, we're talking about incredible traders here, trading incredible size. Right, you want to talk about real traders, not like me and you or anyone else. We're talking about monsters. We're talking about monsters in the game. Even retail guys who have done well, like, oh my God, I'm going to have to get them up. I used to bug and follow. Like, go and look at like Ducks, Stephen Ducks. Go and look at like Nate. Who's the guy who used to get long in the small caps? I'm going to have to remind myself. Stopped following a lot of these guys. Jack Kellogg. Like, go and look at all these guys. You want to see like guys trading real size, doing real stuff. All right, so relief from the blue box, like we expect. We'd imagine we're pretty thin here. Above 80, they might come and test this 25,000 and then all the way up here. I would kind of be done with it for the day. You've got 5 minutes left until lunch. You like Stephen Ducks? Beast. Like, absolute beast. Like, you just can't even fathom the size that he's trading. like making millions of dollars a day when there's an A+ opportunity on some scammy small cap. Like, nerves of steel, man, and records his trades. You can find some of his old trades on YouTube. All right, so starting to see relief, like we talked about through here, probably come up and test this next node and through here. So this is the next area for them to defend. And if they don't defend it, we will get relief. Remember, we've hit main target. All the way up here now is possible for the relief. So into this node, through here, all the way is possible. Remember, we went straight down. We can go straight back up, which is why I'm saying be done with the trade as you come into this blue box. And we would imagine, all right, they will have to make a decision in here whether they want to resell this down and find a bid. This may very well be the range for the afternoon while they make that decision now. For you guys who trade IB, like Scott Lee, Mr. Foster Scott, did we hit your target? We might well have done. We did. We did. We hit your target. 1.5 extension of IB. So lots of reasons to be done with this. Low-hanging fruit gone. Overextended. Probably saw some sellers trapped at that low now. Yep, there we go. So excess at the low was pretty good. So I'd say from 47s is the level. Yeah, Fabio's awesome, man. What is the blue box? This blue box, we just went over it. It's an area where I think we will probably find some bids. If you just, yeah, I'm just going to show you one more time. Right, look how many times, if I just keep pulling this area along, if it will let me. You're going to let me do the horizontal. There we go. If we just keep pulling this area along, you can see since the new contract how sticky this area has been. That we break under, we reclaim, we squeeze. We break under, we try again, we reclaim, we squeeze. We come to it, we squeeze. We come to it, we squeeze. We break under, we squeeze. We dip under, we reclaim, we hold it, we squeeze. We trade back to it, we squeeze. This is our first time visiting it since. Right, so it's the first time visiting this area since 17th of December. Before that, since the 25th of November. Before that, you know, we started putting this pivot in from the start of this new contract, dating way back to September. Okay, so it's a big area, guys. It's a really, really big area. We don't expect markets to just completely tank in one direction, right? The key for this week was there was the failed breakout last week. We left volume trapped up there. All right, so now we've got two sets of volume trap. We had the all-time high volume trapped here. We left volume trapped up here. We rotated in this range, which was gross. All I wanted to do is leave this range. Today was the first attempt to leave the range properly. We're starting to do it. We might well find a bid there for a day or two, session or two, maybe even a week or two before we look for this kind of move down here and below. If we want to think about what that's going to look like on a daily, those of you who have been here for a number of weeks will know that we've been thinking about this move on the daily for a while. Right, we have a big volume shelf right here, which we're trading right into. We're already starting to leave this one. This is anchored from the high. This is your whole year. All right, so this is 12 months. This is anchored from the all-time high. We are starting to leave this. If we start to leave this, we will start to attack this stop here and the 200-day SMA. Yes, I use SMAs in EMAs. Of course I do. They're very important. This is our yearly average. If we start to lose that, you know, if we start to open up these Bollingers and trend down and get stuck underneath that, then maybe we go risk off into some of this. We will see. We will see. But right now, the main thing is probably thinking about a pullback based on the tariff pivot. We can afford to come very, very deep here. Like even here is only a 30% pullback, folks. This can still be a very bullish pullback long term, unless we're going to come to 50 and below. So lots of opportunities here in the market this year for swing positions. Lots of opportunities for swing positions. The deeper we go, the better. All right, so through here now, probably up to the next grey box, right? Squeeze, so be done with it. I would be done with it. What are you guys saying? Sorry, I'm having to play catch up here. What time does the afternoon session start? I don't trade in the afternoon, but you would trade like an hour after lunch. Or you could just trade the new 4-hour bar if you wanted. That would be the other opportunity. So you could trade like the 2 o'clock. But yeah, we're done now for the next hour, hour and a half. Brother, you helped me truly. You helped me break my losing streak. 150-point ride. Hey, nice work. Nice work. Yeah, Wealth Chart's good. I don't use Wealth Chart, but I use something very, very similar on NinjaTrader. Alex, I've been watching you for some time. I trade options for about a year on and off with a lot still to learn. Would you recommend to start trading futures? Horses for courses, my friend. Like, if you like options, I don't like options for day trading. Personally, I'm not that comfortable with the Greeks. I hate decay. I will take leaps for swing trades, especially if it's for like a very expensive stock and I want a bit more leverage. Normally, I try and trade commons where possible. But it's totally up to you. The nice thing about futures is it is a centralized exchange, so you can see all the data. But it is up to you. They trade the same way. Yeah, ask away, Adam. Can I talk more about the IB trade? It's an extension, right? So there is a thought process that once we do the initial balance, this purple line to this purple line, if we're going to go into an expansion, right, a common place to look is for an expansion to the 50. You can see today we hit the 161 expansion, right? That's a common trade. If we go for an IB expansion model, that's a very common trade. That's all I was referring to. It's not something I regularly look at, but I know Mr. Foster Scott in chat does trade it. You like Ross Cameron? Yeah, I mean, I used to trade with Ross. I just used to take the other side of the positions. What am I teaching in my order flow course? Bookmap, footprint, delta divergence, spotting traps, volume profile. It's all on my website. You can see what I teach on my website. Go through it. Nice, Dean. Enjoy. Nice work, Jerome. Good work. Good work. Is there another trade setup? I'd say we probably need a rebalance at some point. So if they're going to stay heavy, right, they're going to need to protect this here. Right, if they're going to stay heavy, they're going to need to protect this here. Just know that you are losing location now. Remember, the best short opportunities were up here, maybe even here, but now we're underneath initial balance. We are underneath. I want to show you just as a reminder to you folks. Right, we are underneath the daily Bollinger Band. All right, it doesn't mean we can't trade lower, but if you are entering new short positions underneath this, you are asking for problems. Do I think we could have a black swan kind of event? I do. I already think we're starting to see such big divergence between all of these, but be careful. Remember, we've got, is it Google at close? I've got to remind myself. Alex has almost forgotten already. Is it Google at close? Or do we have a close here today? Wednesday at close. Yes, Google, ARM, Qualcomm. Those are the big ones really at the close, and then Amazon after close tomorrow. So we will get wonky as we get into close for sure. Worth noting that. Worth noting that. I have Global Plus, but I only think you really need Global if I'm honest, Thomas, for Bookmap. Do I think we go to 25,080 now? 25,080. I mean, we have an old gap fill. Oh, you mean to go upside? 25,080. Yeah, this box. Yeah, I mean, it's trying to retest this, right? So we went from here to here. They now bid above this. They should build liquidity here. If they go above this, we go to the next node. If they reject this, we trade back down to this. If they find acceptance low, we trade back down to this. It's always block to block, guys. See, block down into here, over here, up to this, down to this, down to this, up to this, down to this, down to this, up to this, down to this, up to this, let go of this, wash, back to here, up to here, maybe down to here again, maybe acceptance up, maybe a little swipe, maybe dunk back down, right? We don't trade in like one straight line. It's not how we trade. Oh, I had you on the wrong bloody thing, didn't I? You missed all of that. Sorry. when I'm hitting first TP and closing my follower trades fully, I can't figure out what it's doing. I have mode set to the same ATM strategy. Hit me in Discord, mate. Let's talk about that in Discord so I can understand fully. Would I be looking for a short here now? For me, no. For me now, with 2 to far into discount. All right. There is a last target left, but remember, we've washed out so much, guys. We've taken out so many key levels. We can afford for a little reprice. If they build, in my mind, if they build sufficient liquidity out here, and then come and swipe these and come back under, maybe there's a short back down. But you have to ask yourself, like, is it worth it? If we were short here, and short here, do we need one more, or have we made enough money for the day and we come back tomorrow and trade again? That's what I would ask myself. I certainly wouldn't be getting long, personally. I think there's panic in the market a little bit. How high up might it reclaim or chop? Only 1.64%. Red Day 2 might just be another October, November pullback event. It might be, but I think you're likely to see, like I talked about on the hourly and daily, we're starting to be very dangerous. I mean, the difference was the pullback in December, we didn't have all the liquidity built out, right? We've now got all the liquidity from 19th of December. We've got like 2 months worth of liquidity built out that we can wreck, maybe even more. What's the indicator blue-white profile at the right-hand side? This anchored volume profile. It's not an indicator, it's a drawing tool. It's just a drawing tool. It's free. Is it too late to buy calls? I don't know. I haven't looked at the options data, but I wouldn't be buying calls today personally. But also, when you're saying something like that, you have to understand, I don't understand what you're looking at. Are you looking at for a swing position? Are you looking for a scalp position? Bro, how do you do your stops? That's my biggest problem. 90% right, but always get stopped out. Use volume or structure to protect you. So if you were getting short in here, you don't want it to reclaim this, so your stop would have to be the other side. If you were short versus this, your stop would need to be, I mean, that's actually quite ugly. You would probably got stopped out. But let's say you're short versus this, I'd put your stop the other side. If you were short versus here, you'd put your stop at that swing high, which it protected, all right? Your stop should be where the trade is no longer valid, all right? So if for some reason you've bought this, all right, your stop would have to be at that low, wouldn't it? If you don't put your stop where it's no longer valid, if you're just doing it based on a number that you like or a profit amount, you will get stopped out all the time. The market doesn't care about how much money you're going to make or lose. It cares about what's in front of you. You still have weak low signals. I mean, yeah, it might be. Like ES did just miss the low. Look, it still hasn't taken it. It still has not taken these lows. Remember, we've taken all these out. It found a bid in front. It's come back to IB. All right. We know this is a big level. Come back to IB. All right. If they can snap this, market will get weak. But you want to be careful. Think about where we built all this liquidity. This is the liquidity build, right? We finally broke down. We're revisiting that. You want that to reject and come back down. If they reclaim this, they can come and hunt stops. Like I said, I wouldn't be long biased today personally. Doesn't make sense to me. About to get out of here, folks. Last few questions. Order flow question. If you're looking for a long and buyers get trapped near highs and then get out as the market trades through the upside, is that a viable entry? If you're looking for a long, buyers get trapped at the highs and then get out. Oh, you mean, okay, so you're talking about this move here. You're saying the market's done this, buyers are trapped here, we pull back. Is it viable to get long as they break, as as this. That would be a breakout trade. The better trade would be to position here, all right, and then look for that. Yes, it's viable, but that would be the better trade. I think it will wash all the way back to value area low. You mean drive up to value area low? I mean, it's got to get through a lot of nodes to do that. So far, we're still staying heavy. Like we just rejected. If we just make this, it's actually this tiny little node here has just been developed. It's gross. It should have come up to here really. Still looks like it wants to trade lower. It's still got this target. Still no change in structure if you think about how we're moving. All right, there's no pivot. It's still a sell. I'd probably be done with it, but you know, there's argument to keep trading lower. But for me, too far in discount for a new position. What any amazing? This one, 72.89. The purple one, you mean 72.89. Hey Rick, how's it going? When I see Bookmap going down, but it's green bubbles all the way down and CVD up, that means there's a major divergence of strong bull absorption. Well, if you see price going down, but it's green bubbles up, that means there's passive selling. Price can't go down with green bubbles. You mean afterwards? You mean like this here? I'm trying to understand the way you framed it. Right, if we see this here, these blue bubbles, these green bubbles here and here, right? These are aggressive market participants. These are market orders, right? These are aggressive buyers. Was price able to move higher after those aggressive buyers came in? No. So what does that mean? It means there's absorption sell side. So there's sellers here willing to sell and force this market lower, which we're starting to see. Now we're going to retest this same level here where we just broke down from. All right. So buyers are coming flying in here. If they don't get their way, and we use this pivot to sell, which we're now using just structurally, we're going to come down to where these buyers just came in. If we lose these bids under here where these buyers just came flying in, so we're using, now I'm basically saying this is the pivot somewhere in here, right? And if we lose that, then we will try and trade underneath this pivot. And if we lose that, all right, we can trade into this cluster here, which is where the low of day auction is right now. And you can see there's a buyer here trying to support that low of day auction. He's trying to provide liquidity down there. So that when we see this buys at high and price not moving higher, that is a seller absorbing the tape, moving it lower. When we see selling at lows and not able to move lower, that is a buyer in the tape, this right here, and we move price higher. So we had 150 lot sell side above that 30 lot, 50 lot, and then we see this buying come in and we absorb it. So you see selling at lows being absorbed as we move higher. Do I trade gold? No, not really. Not unless it's a swing position. What was my job before trading? I was a music producer and DJ. How to get volume on the right-hand side. Anchored volume profile, guys. It's a drawing tool. Anchored volume profile. GEX looking like a sell possibility all the way down to 600. Let me have a look. You're talking about the QQQ. Okay. So we've got a put wall down at 600 is what you're saying. That makes sense because I have got a big level there drawn out, which dates back a long way, and zoom this out a bit, all the way back to 17th of December. So it makes sense. So it's kind of the same block. We're actually kind of trading in that block now on the NQ. So QQQ needs to catch up, the ETF. It's the same block, 17th of December. This is this block. So on the NQ, that block here is 600 on the QQQ. If you look at where 600 is on the QQQ, it's the 17th of December. If you look at this block here that we've just traded into, it's the same level. So we've got a little bit of divergence. I know I don't trade Heikin-Ashi. Early in the session, anchored volume profile not showing much. Yeah, because there's no volume to test off. How are you choosing where to place your stops? Probably using Bookmap more or the previous sessions. Yeah, I'm absolutely done for today. Yeah, 100%. I'm done for today. I want to ask this from you. Can you repeat every time you remember before you go, the market will be there? I'll repeat myself, but since you have more experience and hearing, the market will be there. Oh, you mean the market will be there again tomorrow? I see what you're saying. Yeah. I mean, you got to just tell yourself that all the time. This is just one session. Just one session. Okay. Anchor volume profile. In here, forecasting and measuring tools. Come down here, right here. Anchored volume profile. Click on 930. And then I have it set to 2 ticks. But it's up to you. You can have it set to 2 ticks, or you could just do this as rows and do 1,000 rows. I have it set to a width of 20. That's all you need to do, folks. That's all you need to do. Right, last few questions before I go. How far are your stop losses? It depends on structure. Guys, I cannot repeat this hard enough, right? Let's say you've entered late here on a short here, right? Your stop loss would need to be up here, okay? That's what the market is dictating your stop loss to be. If your stop loss is 10 points because you only want to trade 10 points, then, why would the market care about you? It doesn't. It cares about the swing. So asking how big your stop loss is really depends where your entry is and where the trade is no longer valid. And then this size, right, the size of that stop should dictate the amount of contracts that you take. Is being a profitable trader boring as you have to wait for setups? Yeah, like most of the day is spent stalking stuff. Yes, it is. It should be boring. At the moment, we've got a very, 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 very volatile market, so there are opportunities quite regularly, but normally it's very boring. Yeah, I might get the bot to do that. JD, your jokes. Do I use RSI? No, I don't. Anchored volume profile, not an A test. Then you're going to need to find some kind of volume profile that you can use where you can just do it to the 930. I'm sure it will have something. Same on Ninja Trader. I don't use an anchor, but I am able to set it to a 930 print. How much would I risk on a 50K? Are you talking about a 50K prop firm? So really what you're talking about is a $2,500 account, 1 or 2 micros. 1 or 2 micros. Start small. You're talking about ranges with, you're talking about this. This was a 181 point trade earlier, almost 200 point trade. All right. 2 micros, 2, 4, 6, like $800, $700 odd in there. It's enough, man. It's enough. It's enough. Is Bookmap a must? I don't think it's a must. I find it very useful. You can see still on Bookmap, we're bouncing between these levels. We just went over these levels. Look, the horizontal lines. So buyers are stuck up here. We traded down to the horizontal line. We reclaimed this line. We went back to the same area the buyers stuck. We came down to the horizontal lines. We're now trapped between these two. If we snap this, you can see this bid's just left the tape. If we snap this, we'll probably wash down into here. If we reclaim this yellow line, we'll trade back onto here again. It's just level to level. It's just how the market trades, guys. There you go. Shiz saying 1 to 2 micros are literally paying them $300 to $500 a trade. There you go. Do I have a video how to set up your chart? Gray, blue, box, arrow session. Probably in the course I do. But these are just drawing out key levels. What makes the market choppy? When we need to build liquidity. Yeah, so the market, it's the last thing I'm going to do today, but I'm going to have to go. I do have an appointment. Right, when we're in this phase of a higher time frame, right? When we're in this phase, then lower time frames doing this, right? When we're in this phase of the market, a pullback in a higher time frame, then lower time frames doing this. And more recently, if we think about more recently what the markets look like, if this was like the leg up into like October or wherever it was, from we've been doing this on the higher time frame. All right, building out liquidity. All right, so if that's your higher time frame, that means lower time frame. Right, looks like this. Looks disgusting. I didn't mean to do that bit in here. Right, today we are here. All right, we actually had a failed breakout last week, trap buyers, and we came back into range, and today we are breaking out the other side. So if you were Wyckoff, that could have been the spring, right? So this today and yesterday was a sign of strength. It might be that we get a trend down, which means this on lower time frames will start to look like this more, which is what we've seen the last few days, right? So this is building liquidity. That means building volume. This is using the volume, right? Intraday now, because we've done such a big move, if we're going to move lower, we need to build volume out, don't we? So how do we move lower? If buyers come in here and they bid the market up, and more buyers come in here and bid the market up, and more buyers come in here and bid the market up, and then this buyer gets stuck and we come down, and this buyer gets stuck and we come down, then these buyers are the build out stage, all right, and their stops, when we run their stops, become sell side and we use them to go lower. That's how we build the liquidity, right? Same as here. This will be a big pivot here, right? I would imagine if we come above this, lots of buyers will chase in, and it's very possible we use their liquidity then to come back down. All right, so we go choppy when we need to build liquidity. We cannot move in a straight line. Am I on every day? Yes, 9:15 Eastern into lunch. What prop gives you 90% off? Apex right now. You ever think about doing a backcountry heli ride on the mountains in Alaska? Don't worry about blocked roads. I don't know. Why would I think about doing that? We often do a V-shape on rebounds. I would change that statement quite drastically. Often? No. V-shapes are not often. Do they happen? Yes. Are they often? No. When do they happen? They happen when we have something like this, right? So if the higher time frame, let's say we've moved down, oh, Jesus Christ, let's say it's like this, right? Higher time frame, big extension, big extension, big extension, and we move down here for the first time, and we left lots of limit buyers waiting here. This is where you'll get a V shape, all right? Especially if it's a drastic move and a drastic move, and especially if this is news and it's very, very thin, right? Then we'll be thin back up, right? Whenever the market's thin one side, it would go thin the other way. If you want an example of that, all right, thin up, straight up, this shot here, straight up and straight down, all right? Because there's no structure, all right? If we'd built structure out in here, right, then this on the way down would have respected each level. But it didn't have any structure, so we're not going to have structure on the way down either. All right, so V-shapes happen when we come into areas where we have a huge buyer waiting to get involved. How much discount do I get on your code with Funded Next? I'm not sure at the moment, to be honest. I'm genuinely not sure. But it's always the maximum possible discount using FCT. Oh, I see what you're saying, Super. I got you now. I got you now. Yeah, my snowboards are still outside my back door right now. I still haven't been able to use it. Running out of time. I wouldn't mind doing a Euro trip. Would be nice. The Funded Next giveaway will be on YouTube. I'd always do at least one a month. So one a month on YouTube, one a month on Discord, and I'm going to start doing one a month on Twitter as well. So I'll probably do that question on YouTube later today. I'll probably do it later today. Do I believe trading personal cash is better than prop firm? I do, yeah, of course I do. But as long as you're, confident in doing it, you don't want to go blowing. If you're brand new, you don't want to be doing that. You want the cheapest lessons possible, because you will have to learn hard lessons. You're welcome, Bradley. Yes, Morgan. Yeah, that's pretty much it, Morgan. If we leave a high volume area, we try and trade down to the next high volume area. That's pretty much it. Footprint won't show the limit orders. No. You can buy some footprint programs which will show you depth of market, like Bookmap will. But footprint it's showing you what's happening inside each candle, right? Inside each. I have this set to delta. Not everyone has this. Some people will have this set up differently. I only like to look at delta, but some people, where is it? Will have it like a ladder, like this. All right, so they have it split, or maybe they have buy and sell, right, like this. I like to see the delta. So all I want is a really quick look of where someone's stuck. That's all I care about. You will hear me talk about it all the time. Where are they stuck? Where are they stuck? All I care about is where someone is stuck. But you will not see the limit orders on delta. You will see them on Bookmap. You will see them on the DOM and level 2. What country do I live in? I live in America. Do I have friends working in banks? What's their day trading strategy? Yeah, I have a few friends. Most of them use EMAs, and to be honest, they are taking massive positions. One of them is a very big trader of copper, actually. I went long 25,300 on Nasdaq. Super down. Can we recover the stop loss? Here we go. Here we go, folks. You're going to get that next hit. Here it comes. Literally tagging into it. There you go. Just taken. So your final one finally came out there. There you go. See the reaction around here. And the only thing left now is the bottom of this blue box. And under that, I will have to put some new lines in. We are getting very, very weak. This is like what we're talking about, potential black swan type events where we go outside of 2 standard deviations. And the reason I thought that was probable was because, like we talked about, 4 standard deviations recently has only been 9 points. Normally it's about 3,000 to 4,000 points. So green line now taken. That is a 323 point trade if you took it. And I would look for this next. You got it. Oh, you all got it. Oh, I love it. I love it. Nice work, folks. Look at you guys. You must be mega rich. Beautiful move. Green line tagged. So we can remove that green line now. We've hit it. The only thing left now is the bottom of the blue box. But like I said, be done with it. I wouldn't. Like I said, I would not be long today. This is a big sell day. Is it possible to turn on subs? How do I do that? Is there a way for me to do that? I didn't know it wasn't done. Customization. If you tell me where I can do it, I will do it. I didn't know it wasn't done. Let me have a look. Language set to English, United States. If you tell me where to do it, I'll do it, guys. I can't see it for the live stream. Here you go, guys. Almost bottom of blue box. Almost bottom of blue box. You do not have to buy this. Do not just buy this for the sake of buying it. Why? We're breaking away from all the trap buyers from 3 months worth of volume. Like, even if it works for you, it's just not a trade. It's not a valid trade. Yeah, on the daily now. God, it's making me stay here way too long. Remember, on the daily now, We're starting to break away. It's very possible now we can trade 24,800s. Remember, we talked about that. 24,800s is possible now today based on these nodes. Look how we're leaving all this volume. I've talked about this so many times on stream, especially up here. We left this volume. We're about to leave. This is yearly. This is based on the last 12 months. Understand that. If we leave all these participants stuck from the last 12 months, we're going to keep trading down this level. Then we get thin this level. Guess what's there? A big stop and the 200-day. That is my target. That is my big old target that I'd like to see hit. Almost there. What is this blue box? It is the pivot right down to the 25th of November. It is the 25th, isn't it? Yeah, 25th of November. What order flow software do I think is best? I use Quant Tower, but I feel there's something missing. I don't know what you could get for Quant Tower. I'm sure there's something really good for Quant Tower. I use Cidi by Twin Peaks is what I use. Okay, so a bit of a bid in front of the bottom of this blue box here. Probably look to resell it around 46s. I would not be selling these lows. Okay, I would not be selling these lows. But there's a bit of a edge now being developed down here. There's the drive back in towards 46s. If they want to resell it and finish this and clean this up, they will. Nice work, everyone. Lots of you got that. That's awesome. What account size is best? Small accounts, 25 or 50k account. 50k account's great. They're still rejecting this new shelf now, where we just broke down from. Remember, we're thin up. Don't want it reclaiming all of this, otherwise it's going to come right up into here. But if they keep rejecting this, they can potentially come down to the lows. Let's just check the low of day of auction. So they're coming for this imbalance here where we just sold from. Not bad excess at the low. So this is key now. This is the imbalance where we just sold from. Why does it do that? Right, so we're trading back into where we just sold from. If they resell it, they'll come back to these lows now. Do not, like I said, I would not be long in this. You're asking for it. Here we go. And a break now will take you to the 850s. ES, by the way, is finally taking out its key levels. So ES did that move. Remember, we talked about the green lines on ES. It needs to take out those green lines. And look at there. There you go. So ES now completed the move that we did at the start of the day. And if ES stays weak under this, you will see continuation on NQ. Why can't order flow get students get into the Discord? Because the Discord is like, it teaches how I trade in general, like how I position myself, what I'm looking for, the patterns, all this stuff. If you trade order flow and you're constantly looking for reversals, you're going to really hurt students who are like continuation traders. If you like, so the order flow teaches you how to trade order flow, but it doesn't teach you on like the setups necessarily that we're looking for. So it would be problematic to the students in Discord. I think it would cause too many. I thought about it a few times, but I don't want students trading like different directions. I want them to support each other. It creates like the best possible environment for them to trade together, especially when I'm not there. That's the only reason why. Well, and that, there you go. And if people pay less and get in, then everyone else will be upset. Yeah, fair enough. Hadn't even thought of that, Adam. Hadn't even thought. Look at Vix. Vix now doing that breakout. All right, Vix absolutely screaming. So your next target is here, folks. This will now be a 367-point winner, and it's coming. It's coming, and I would say you will have wish orders down here. This is getting very, very, very heavy now. There is a gap fill, right, from 24,700 down to 24,560 as well. Right, there's a gap, an untested gap from the 24th of November as well. I've never used Jigsaw. I can't comment. Can't comment. The zones, I just draw them based on like pivots and volume, guys. Pivots and volume. There's lots of stuff for free on my YouTube, but you can go through all of that. I'm not going to do it now. And otherwise, you can, of course, do the course. All right. I'm going to wait for this to hit, and then I'm going to get off stream. I just want this to hit for you guys. You can hold runners beyond this. It is possible. Like I said, it might well come down into here. Might well come down into here. I'll do this as grey because this is a gap. Almost there. Almost there. Some bids down here to be filled. I think you're going to get it. Here we go. Come on. Get under it. I want to make sure this is accurate. Oh, it's accurate. All right. Get under it. Here it goes, folks. Here it goes. Get your wish orders underneath in case they really snap. It could be really nasty. Pretty much tagged there. Missed it by a tick or two. Come on. Just snap that last bit. Just snap that last bit. Mainly so I can get off stream. So close. So close. Yeah, exactly. Monthly lows. Exactly it. We're right back to November. We're so far back now. If we trade under this, we can. We're looking at November 21st after this. If we trade under this, here we go. Tagged. There you go. Tagged. Boom. Right. Wish orders now. If you get really nasty, it's good night, sweetheart time down into all of this. Notable relative strength today in Netflix. Those that were thinking about the swing position with me. Notable relative strength. I'll give you a readout and you'll see what I mean. Tesla, 4.90% down. Nvidia, 4.24% down. Microsoft, 0.3% up. Meta, 3.25% down. Google, 2.70% down. Amazon, 2.40% down. Apple, 1.85% up. And still long Apple, up over $70 a share right now. And Netflix, 0.75% up. So a nice sort of hold on Netflix. Interesting relative strength. Right. I am, yeah, exactly, Mike. Exactly, my friend. Like I said, I'm still long. I think 208 is my average price on Apple. So the next stop is down here, right? I think if we're going to continue to get weak, this is where you're looking to trade into this grey box. All right, if we're going to continue to be weak, we can extend down into here if they're going to be really violent with it. I would not be a new money short now. Think about where we were shorting this morning. Our first short this morning was at 25.315s, then 25.300, then 25.200s. We're now trading 24.800s. All right, we're way down. We are way down. We're 630 points down on the session. All right, so this is possible. Yeah, we're getting heavy. The reason is because we're leaving the volume, isn't it? The reason is because we're leaving trap volume. These are the days you want to be aggressive. All right, folks, I am done and I'm going to get out of here. Great session. I've got an appointment in 20 minutes and then I'll be in Discord afterwards. Just sit in the shorts and let them work, or just leave it alone. Definitely don't be looking to try and play in the counter trend long, all right? We are in a continuation day. Last time I'm going to say this, all right? We had a failed breakout of the highs last week. We came back to mean. We failed to recover those highs. Yesterday was a massive sell day. Today is the continuation. It is very viable. You can see we're already coming to this. It is viable. We come into this over the next week or so. All right. Do not be stupid trying to bid it back up. Okay. Don't try and be a hero. You are going to end up a very upset person who has to go to bed crying at night. Do not be the hero. Please. Please don't do it. Is there codes for the course or is it 900? It's not 900, it's $645. It should be $699, but $645. If you bundle it together, it's a bit cheaper. If you get the volume, order flow, and the main course. All right. All right. Big love, everyone. Good luck in your afternoon session. Those in Discord, I'll be back this afternoon. If you want to support the stream, then you can use my codes. That helps me out. All right. Everything underneath. All my codes are underneath for all your favorite prop firms. FCT is the main one to use. Other than Take Profit Trader, you can use code FlowZone. And yeah, I'll see you back tomorrow morning. We'll see what we get. We'll see how nutsy this market gets today and see where we close. And everyone Discord, I'll see you soon. Peace and love, everyone. See you tomorrow morning.